If I may go around the room and take roll call. Galvin.
Present.
Gio.
Good morning.
Pap.
Hello, Michael.
Oh. Carmen?
Good morning.
Oh!
Damn it. Gotcha.
Damn it.
We weren't sure if you're going to be late or not.
Yeah. No, I made it. It was just a precaution.
What an unsung hero you are.
Yeah.
Carmen, I have so much to talk to you about. I'm so glad you're here.
Okay. What's up?
Yesterday, I was inspired by you
Okay.
to eat bad.
Wait, what? Don't
Yeah.
use me as your excuse.
Well, my wife is also, she's the bad one. She's the one that should be like, keeping me on track. But she was like, do you want to go to lunch? And I said, not really. And she was like, come on, take me to the mall and then we'll go to lunch. And I said, okay. So I took her to the mall. And then she said, can we go to Besito? And I said, oh, Carmen loves Besito.
Yeah.
Tableside guacamole.
Should have invited me.
So we went there. Can I give you my review?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
Really?
what happened?
Gross.
Yeah.
I heard they were closing all those
Yeah.
restaurants.
Maybe that's the reason.
Like West Shore, I thought was going
It
on
was
there.
empty.
I thought the whole mall was basically
I don't know what that mall does.
on the outs.
Yeah.
That mall has been there for so long, and I don't know how it competes with International Mall. But anyway, it was gross. So we got a triple salsa. I don't know, appetizer. Like they give you chips and 3 different salsas. One tasted like pickle juice. The other one was just melted cheese, and then the other one was just chopped onions. It was supposed to be like a real salsa, and it was just onions.
Are you supposed to mix them together?
No, I don't know if there was work required. They didn't give me instructions. And then we also, can I just tell you, I'm not trying to tell anybody don't go there or anything like that. I just had not a great experience. And then I went and got a chicken burrito. It was ice cold. I said, I mean, rarely do I eat half of whatever I'm eating.
I got to tell you, though, on a summer day, a nice cold chicken burrito really hits the spot.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Oh, so I was like, Beseeth, no.
Yeah.
No. I wanted to call you from there because I was blaming you for being there in the first place.
Me?
Yeah, because it was my wife's fault because she suggested it, but you were always talking about it, so I thought it was going to be great. Not great.
Why do you think I've had those tableside guacamoles for so long?
Yeah.
Like, I've been there twice. Once when they opened.
Right.
And then the other time we had like a show thing there. You know what I mean? But other than that, that's why I have so many of those tableside guacs.
Beseeth, no. That's my review.
I got to tell you, the best Mexican, in my opinion, closed down is that Vallarta's.
Vallarta,
Yeah.
I never gone there.
They're great.
So good.
They're great. You're never. It's like going to a diner in New York. No matter what time you go, you're going to get the same exact quality, same exact food, and it's always going to be good.
Yeah.
Missed out.
Get out of here, bug.
Close it out. Oh. Come on, Joe.
What, Joe? How are there still flies, Joe?
I don't know.
I added exterminator to your list of duties.
Okay.
Anyway, that was my big complaint for yesterday. No. Beseeth, no.
I gotta tell you, we went to Topgolf.
Yeah.
There was like a coaching thing, and Chad won his conference. You know what I mean? So
Nice.
everyone who won got to go. They have great Mexican food.
They do. They have surprisingly good food over at Topgolf.
Yeah. So they had like a taco and nacho bar set up that was like included and stuff. Their queso is delicious and probably the reason I'm running late today.
You got the poofs?
I couldn't go. Their cheese.
Oh, you're backed up?
Yeah, the cheese clogged me up.
Oh,
come on. Gross.
You know how to do that. Galvin's told you a million times. Let Chad hold your nose and blow into your mouth.
He was sleeping.
Yeah.
I was about to ask him.
What do you had, a morning struggle?
Yeah. And the problem was I couldn't leave because I knew the second I left, I would have to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just had to like sit there.
Wait it out.
Red face and sweating.
And I'm just looking at my phone and I'm just seeing the time and I'm like, oh my God.
I know that, Karen, when I have to go during commercials.
Yeah. And then of course on the way, I literally saw brake lights my entire drive, but never hit traffic once.
Right,
Everyone was
right.
just driving slow. You know what I mean? So it was just like one of those mornings. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna stress it. I'm just gonna let things happen. And I still got here on time.
Oh,
So,
good
Just
job.
let it happen on
I'm
the
just
ride
like-
over.
listen, at that point, what are you supposed to do?
I
Because I was
guess.
just gonna stress myself out for
Yeah.
no reason. You know?
No, you made it. You did good.
Afraid to
Yeah.
get up, but you know you got to leave.
But listen, and that wasn't helping either. But I had a lot of queso at Taco yesterday.
Come on.
Did they
It
have the
was
little injectable donut holes?
Yes,
Those
they
are,
did.
Those are so good.
Right.
Yeah,
so-
I didn't have any. Though,
Oh, man.
But when I was going through the taco line, I could smell the chocolate, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh man!" But yeah, Topgolf has really good food.
At the end of Besito, they give you 4 little churros.
It was on Monday.
Yeah.
They were baby churros. They were like this big. They're little churro
Hell,
bites.
You
That
had
kinda-
3 of them.
That
Four.
kind of flushes
Four.
and resets the
Right,
system.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a whole churro, is what you're saying.
Right, but if you break it up in little pieces, it doesn't mean a whole churro.
No.
And I'm sorry, didn't you get a cookie the size of your head from Hard Rock?
I was on the
other-
weekend still.
Oh,
it was
okay.
within the allotted days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't
Yeah,
think you
I haven't
understand
had
what diet is.
I was off the rails. I'm slowly bringing it back on track. Like
Mm.
this morning, I started doing good.
Mhm.
I ate a cheese stick and 2 tiny coffees.
Well, good luck.
Gio came in today with 2 tall coffees. These aren't even grandes, I don't even think.
I think they're grandes.
Okay, so there are 2 10-ounce coffees.
16.
That's 16 ounces?
That's what she told me. Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's 16 ounces.
All right.
We did the math because she goes, I don't have any Trenta cups. I have to give you in 2 grandes.
So
I
is
said,
it Trenta 32?
yes.
Trenta is 30. Yeah, 30.
Yeah.
Oh, 32. Yeah.
And I go, lady, I can't show up with that. I go,
Yeah.
that's not. She's like, well, this is 2 Trentas. If I pour these into a Trenta cup, it equals Trenta. I said,
I mean, you did good, Gio. You did. I
yeah,
appreciate
know.
it.
I told her,
But-
like, you're killing me.
But 1 venti would have been sufficient.
Instead, well, it would have been less.
I know, but I would have just
All right.
either got ordered another one later on or whatever.
So a Trenta is actually 31 ounces. So you got a little bit more. You got an extra ounce there. How you
Yeah.
like that?
Cheers.
The Grande is 16 ounces. That's
Yeah,
what the thing. So
that's-
tall is 12, Grande 16, Venti 24, Trenta 31.
yeah.
Yeah,
We're cool. We're gonna make it an odd number. Ugh.
I argued with her, and she did the math, and it checked out.
Well, I don't think that was the plan, Galvin. I think the plan is to have like trend to be 30, but because of the circumference of the glass, they're able to sneak an extra ounce in there.
Small, medium, large. Entire
Yeah.
life. Entire life. Small, medium, large.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
We're gonna introduce new systems.
Yeah, but like, 7-Eleven did that too. You go in, you get a big gulp and a bigger gulp and a yummy gulp and a,
Listen.
Gulp.
You tell me tall, venti, grande, this, that, I don't know. Big gulp, I know what I'm
yeah, but
getting.
if you're a regular at the
I'm not.
right, so don't go.
It confuses me that I don't go.
But it
Now they're losing my money. They'll probably be closed by the end of next week.
It is a little intimidating if you've never been.
Whenever, if I stop and I get my wife something, I have to go, whatever large is. I don't know. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
have
because
to
you're
do-
not used to saying it.
Right.
Right, right,
I
I
don't know.
getcha.
And I really don't know. It's not like we can figure it out because of this, whatever. No. Tall sounds like it'd be big.
I don't ever look at the menu, so I don't know if the menu has it like clearly displayed on
What
there.
the ounces
Yeah.
are. Yeah.
I don't know.
Americans are so fat. When you go to other countries at Starbucks, they don't have Trenta.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not so much a fat thing because
It's a fat thing.
but it's not
Americans
because,
Yeah.
like big, large, fat portions.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's-
Americans work harder. They're out there longer, and they don't have time to go
Americans
back.
work harder
Americans
than,
are the hardest working. Well,
than
no,
who?
than the Europeans. I'm not going to South America.
I was going to
Not
say.
South America.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
South America,
you're
they just
going
go
in the
pick their own
world,
beans and they
yeah.
go make their own coffee.
It's a fat thing.
Yeah, it totally is a fat thing because I told you my sister-in-law over in the Philippines, she went to McDonald's and got like a Big Mac that was the size of like a
Yeah.
Jolly Rancher. You know what I mean?
There's
Like,
no large sizes.
No,
it's all
yeah.
like regular.
Small.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why we're the strongest country in the world.
Well, fattest.
I'll whip the Philippines ass, me and 3 guys.
I'm just saying.
Manny Pacquiao would destroy you.
Yeah, besides Manny Pacquiao. Once we break his arms, we'll pick him up by the feet and beat other Filipinos with Manny Pacquiao.
Mm.
That's it. That's why I said 3 guys. We take 3 guys to beat Manny Pacquiao. I don't know. I'm not fighting anybody.
No,
I'm too old.
The
not after
barista.
this weekend.
The barista in Germany told me he always knows when the Americans are coming in for Trentas, and he has to tell them no because they're fat. And
Sure.
like, Trenta. He's like, we don't have Trenta.
Listen, it's not like there's no fatties over in Europe.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yes, I
Not
get
as
it.
many.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I've been to Greece. They're all pretty fat.
Yeah.
But also, whenever you come in with a baseball hat on and camouflage shorts, they're like, I'm pretty sure this is.
You guys have Tranta?
Yeah, exactly. No fatso. We don't do that here.
That was one of the things that I read before I went to Europe for the first time is don't wear camouflage.
Yeah.
They said the only people that wear camouflage over there are the military. And if you're walking around in camouflage, they're going to think that you're making some sort of statement. So this guy doesn't make any statements.
But I mean, like, do you wear camo on a regular basis here?
No, but there was a time where I had like camouflage shorts.
Yeah,
you know?
there was like in the 90s, there was a little time where
My
a lot
son
of
wears camo
camouflage,
pants.
A lot of people were wearing.
My wife bought camo pants to go to Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, she's going to Wu-Tang Clan tonight.
Oh, is that tonight?
Yeah, I am not.
And is that the majority of Wu-Tang or who all, like the important ones?
Mostly Wu-Tang.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Method
yeah.
Man.
Well,
Redman,
old
those
Dirty
guys?
Bastard's dead,
Right.
but his son, Young Dirty Bastard's in the band.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I guess he's pretty good.
Yeah.
And
He calls himself Young Dirty
no,
Bastard?
no. I don't know what his name is. But the rest of the Wu-Tang seem to be there. Inspect the Deck, Method Man, you know,
Ghostface Killer?
Ghostface Killer, Raekwon. I could not care less and would not want to go to anything less. Would not want my wife to go by herself. I was concerned with that. So she is going with the next best thing, both of her brothers.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, which makes me feel happy that I don't have to sweat it. And if anything happens to her, hey, I tried. Your brothers were there.
Can I make a statement to you that you're going to hate? Come on!
Oh no.
So you know what what really annoys me is the
Gallo
fly.
looks like a deaf guy trying to do sign language.
You know what the fly does? Or whatever it is, gnat or whatever. It flies around and then it goes right here in my hair.
Yeah.
Like it wants to live in my luxurious hair.
You got like a little product in there?
Yeah.
That's probably what it is. They
Yeah.
like that.
Can't blame it, Gallo.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
amazing.
It's like, oh, it smells terrific. This is like a high-rise apartment up here. I like it. So you're gonna hate every part of this sentence.
Okay.
Except for the first part.
All right.
My wife.
Yeah. Like your wife.
Right. Is in Boston
Oh.
and went to the Rays game.
Yeah,
right?
Why?
Because why'd she go to the Rays game?
Yeah. Is she a
Because
fan?
not really, but she's up there with her best friend, and so they wanted to do something, whatever. And I guess she's staying right by there.
Oh.
Right,
Hey,
by
you gotta go
Fenway
to.
and Stephanie.
You kind
Yeah.
of got to go to that field
Fenway.
one time.
They got extra innings, and the Rays wound up winning, and all kind of stuff. So
that's-
Raise up.
yeah, she had a good time.
She decked out in her Rays
I was gonna
gear.
say she wearing a Rays shirt.
I think she had some
Yeah.
Rays stuff. I mean, over the years we've had
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much
yeah.
Rays stuff that
I'd go to Fenway Park if I was right there.
right.
Yeah,
You're saying
just
over the
saving.
years the Rays gave you stuff.
Yeah, they gave us a
Oh,
bunch of stuff
interesting.
until you pissed them off, and then they
Me?
stopped. Yes, you.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they said me out of all the people that talk crap about them.
Right.
The DAE is just smashing them all the time, and I'm just talking about how the people are fair weather fans and they single me out.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
No skateboard deck for you.
I said to them, I was like, when the Rays got mad at me, I said, work said to me, listen, don't make a big deal of this. I go, oh, are you kidding me? This is the best thing I can. I'd much rather fight with somebody than be friends with them. I said, so now I'll just wait until something happens till one of their coaches gets a DUI or one of their players gets in trouble, and boom, Wander Franco gets in trouble.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden the Rays lose the roof on their stadium, and I was like, I believe I'm out of this fight, buddy.
Yeah,
I've done
yeah.
enough just by wishing. So I got nothing bad to say.
Had
So-
they given you that Raymond bobblehead, things would be different.
Yeah.
It was a jersey.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
they gave everybody a jersey except for me.
If you would have got the DJ Kitty jumper,
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Oh. Yeah.
would have been something.
Raise
I know.
up, everybody.
And that's so funny is some guy goes, you complain about it, but would the Yankees ever give you? And I was like, actually, one time I was on the air talking about how I was going to New York and it was freezing and I didn't have a winter jacket. And then the next day, a winter New York Yankees jacket showed up at the station and said, we heard you're going to New York. Stay warm. That's the nicest thing ever. So they've done a lot for me over the years.
The Lightning gave us jerseys, but then they gave Mo a jersey and it ruined everything.
Lightning gave us jersey.
No,
They did come around.
They
Yeah,
did
come
give
come
us
around,
jersey,
Right.
and then they gave us jerseys.
Jerseys, yeah.
Yeah.
But then they gave one to Mo, and that kind of ruined it for me.
Right. Mo's not included.
No.
Yeah. Mo or Spike? What's more insulting?
To give a jersey to?
Yeah,
Spike.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Will Spike come to Whiskey Willie's? I feel like they know Spike there.
Was that his hangout?
No, I just feel like he'd fit in there though. Having hung out there a couple of times now.
I'm not sure where Spike lives. I don't know if that's in his vicinity.
Pete calls me up and he goes, "What do you have this weekend?" And I said, "Nothing. It's Father's Day on Sunday. I think the Jews are coming over on Saturday." And he said, "All right, I need you to go out Friday night." And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Because I got people coming in town, blah, blah, blah." And I go, "So basically we're just going to end up at Whiskey Willie's again." He goes, "Probably."
That's great.
We have a hangout now.
Yes.
We have a hangout.
This has been my life for the last 30 years.
We even have a corner. Like we go to the same seats every time. And I walked over and some guy was sitting there and I was,
This is great.
When you walk in, do they go, Mike?
not yet. No.
Soon.
No, we had a not so warm reception on Friday night. There was because you can't smoke in there, so there were a bunch of people outside.
Mm-hmm.
And when we pulled up in the Sprinter, they kind of yipped up a little bit. They were hoping it was like a bachelorette party, and then 4 dudes get out of the car, and they were like, "Oh yeah."
Boo.
The guy said it. He goes, "We're expecting a bunch of girls," and I go, "Well, bad luck."
When I used to go to Whiskey Willie's, they could smoke in there, and it was rough.
That's what I heard, but it doesn't even like when you walk in a building that you used to smoke in for 30 years and it's still it doesn't. It's whatever they did.
That's
they reverse osmosis the whole place up.
Because I couldn't stay long because of the smoke was so intense.
Yeah, that's why I never went there before because Coco said when you leave there you'll smell like a cigarette, and now not the case.
You could sit at the stoplight and smell cigarettes. At the stoplight. Jesus, outside.
Does Whiskey Willie's have any kind of gambling stuff in there at all?
I don't believe so.
Have you heard like all these different bars are doing like gambling stuff? Like they have like roulette wheels and everything. Somebody was telling me, I don't know, was it Dizzy? Did you guys go somewhere?
No.
I don't know, somebody was telling me about it, and I go, well, they're gonna get shut down. I go, that's illegal.
Yeah, talk about it on the radio, you rat.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Don't just do it without me.
Oh, I got.
That's why I'm gonna shut you down.
I mean, sometimes you see like video poker, I think.
Yeah, video poker. No, but I'm talking like
And
table
then
games.
Yeah, there have been a couple of those.
Yeah, and I'm like, how? What?
Because I think there's a loophole in certain areas somewhere or something like that. And then no, I don't think it's legal. I think it's just a matter of who's been shut down yet and who hasn't.
But also, I think if you're not using actual money and it's like
Right, that's a
prizes.
workaround. Yeah.
instead.
But what I heard was real table games, real money, this and that. And I go, why have I not been invited?
Yeah.
Yeah, at the Kava House. That's what they were doing. That's what it was.
Talking about ratting them out.
Rat.
Jeez. What were they doing, Joe?
No, there was you gambled for prize tickets, and then you put the tickets in for whatever prize you wanted to win.
Oh, that's
win.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
prize,
a
yeah.
It
different
was
thing.
not real money.
Right. Joey Calta back to the casino last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He got a little taste, so he's like, winning's easy. Let me get back in there.
Yeah.
How'd he do?
I don't know. I went to bed before he came home, so I don't know. But I did know that I did watch John Sarasani playing
Oh, yeah.
poker yesterday. It's unbelievable.
Poker or blackjack?
Blackjack. It's unbelievable how he the cards go his way. You know what I mean? Like he's like, all right, I got 4s. Dealer's showing a 3. The only thing I can do is split these 4. And I'm like, yeah, but you're splitting 4s. You're not doing anything, you know. And sure enough, one was a 20 and the other one was a 19, and the other guy in the dealer bust. Like,
But that's one of the
unbelievable.
things. That's one of the things he points out too. Is you're only gonna make money playing blackjack if you double down on
Right,
stuff.
take chances.
You know what I mean?
and-
Yeah. And if you're going with the book and you're doing what you're supposed to do, and there are certain times where if you have an ace and a 4 against a 3, and doing stuff like that. That's how you're going to make your money, because otherwise you're just kind of winning slowly, whatever. But if you can have one hand that's a swing, and especially for him, it's a $40,000 swing.
Yeah. So let me ask you what you would do. He had the dealer had a 4 showing,
Mm-hmm.
and he had 12.
12 against 4.
Yeah,
I'm staying on that. 4 through 6, you stay with you have a 12.
I know that's what you're supposed to do. And
Yeah, 13 I'd hit,
He said it.
or showing a 3 I would hit.
He said it's so hard to not take that card. I would want to take that card, and
Yeah,
he
but-
didn't, and he ended up winning.
he hit and he won.
No, he didn't.
Oh
He-
yeah. Because 4 is a bus card, so yeah, that's the rule. That's the way the book is and stuff.
I know. I'm not. If it's
12,
5,
12 against a 2, I'm hitting. 12 against a 3, I'm hitting. 12 against a 4 through 6, I'm not hitting.
yeah, I know. That's a smart thing to do, and it's hard. He goes, it's hard to do it, but you got to do it.
Yeah.
And it worked out for him. So it was interesting to watch, and when watching him play $1,000, $1,500 a hand you know, with nothing, with his big pumpkin chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun watching other people's money.
Yeah.
Your
yeah.
money is
And then whenever they lose, you idiot.
Yeah.
I would have done it different.
When I hear people say, "Oh yeah, I'm down like 70 grand, so I'm just trying to get it back before I leave tonight," I'm like, "Oh my god."
70 grand. I'd be like, well, if we sell this house,
Yeah. He was after the show. He was just hanging out, kind of talking. He was talking about like when he goes down like 60, 70 grand. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think about it. That's all he does.
Yeah.
He gets flown around for free to go to these places. All this stuff is comped. He goes to the best restaurants and all these things, and then you know he gambles. And he was saying on the live stream that he can't go to certain casinos because he wins too much money. And he said
and they won't let him.
They won't let him anymore. Or if he goes, he's got to play under certain rules.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
you can't double down on certain things. Can't do this. Like. Which is crazy because I wouldn't go anywhere where I had no advantage.
For some reason, I get maybe because he was there or somebody searched something. I started getting gambling videos in my Instagram yesterday.
The minute you watch one of his videos, it's all you get.
Yeah, and it was there was one account and it was just this person getting kicked out of casinos because they're too good.
Yeah.
And like the pit boss comes over and she'd be like, go, quick, because I guess if the cards turn, they can't stop that hand. So she's like, go.
Yeah.
The dealer turns the hand. She's like, and the guy's telling her to stop. He's like, nope, you flip the card. I'm playing this hand. And then they're like, your skill set's not welcome here.
Yeah. Yeah, I know who that girl is because she gets backed off all the time. And she's, they're usually cool about it. They're like, we don't want to accept your action anymore. And she's like, okay, and just colors up and goes, whatever. But there was one guy I saw, I want to say it was in Chicago, maybe, or somewhere. I forget where it was. But he had like almost $100,000 and they would not pay him. They were in the middle of counting it and they came over and they're like, nope.
Yeah. Really?
And he's like, are you crazy? Blah, blah, blah. And he's yelling and he's got a little lawsuit against him. And
I don't gamble a lot. I didn't realize that's a thing where like it seems like pretty regularly. If you're good, they'll just kick you, tell you can't play that game anymore.
Yeah,
like the one he's like, you can play any other game in the casino. You're not allowed to play blackjack anymore.
Yeah, because what she's doing, well, she's a card counter first off.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, but she's so she's putting her bets. She's betting like 100, 900. Whatever she knows,
Yeah.
it's a positive count. Whatever. Yeah.
So is that what she's card counting?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
How do casinos catch the card counter?
Because
They're
you're increasing your bet. Most people, if you go and sit at a table, say you sit at a $25 table, you're betting $25 per hand. Every once in a while, you may go 50, whatever. But if somebody who's card counting knows when it's a positive count, which means it's in their favor, they'll be betting 100, and then they'll bet 1,000, they'll bet 1,000, they'll bet 1,000. Then they know it goes down, so then they go back down to 100 and stuff. So you can kind of see that stuff. But it is very difficult to card count now with
5 decks,
5-deck shoe, all that stuff. So most of those card counters are going to play in single deck.
Okay.
Now I want to eat and gamble.
Yeah,
That's all this show
let's do
does.
it. Let's
It
do
brings
it.
all the vices out. All right, let's take a break and get the show rolling this morning. A rescheduled Craig Gass will be in the studio.
Willie?
Yeah, I don't know. He texted me. He
Did
said
Gio text him?
he texted me and he said he's sorry that he's late and he never overslept for a show. I said, Craig, 2 nights of Metallica will do that to somebody. That's the whole. You can't be blamed for that.
Yeah, he did tell me, he's like, this has never happened before ever.
Yeah. So he's coming in this morning to hang out with us, and he'll be at Side Splitters Wesley Chapel this weekend. And then also Acid Dom will join us at 9 o'clock. He will not be at Side Splitters Wesley Chapel this weekend, but he will be taking your legal calls this morning. We got stuff to give away. Carmen will tell you what that stuff is when we come back, and we'll play Sporkle next on 102.5 The Bone. Right now, we got stuff to give away. Carmen, what is that stuff?
And jelly roll, which is
your mic wasn't on, Carmen.
Sorry, Carmen. I was sorry. The mic was on.
we don't have any tickets.
Oh,
Game
I
away.
believe you said Post Malone and Jelly Roll, which is tonight at the Camping World Stadium in Orlando.
Correct.
Your mic was on.
We have tickets for Glass Animals,
Uh-huh.
Summer of Loud,
Yep.
Suicide Boys, Monster Jam, Falling in Reverse, and Cage the Elephant.
All right, let's do it right now. A little bit of Sporkle. Here we go. Who won yesterday? Yesterday was the 3-way tie.
Galvin won.
I won.
Kachaya. All right. Carmen is the keeper of Sporkle. Pat is your judge and scorekeeper. Carmen, what are we playing today?
All right, today we're going to play bands that start with 4 letters. Okay? I'm going to give you a band's name. You're going to give me the first name that's missing.
Before we get started.
Starts with 4 letters.
Clear it out.
I had to get that going. Okay, I'm good. 4-letter bands. Let's do it.
All right, your first one, Biv DeVoe.
Bell.
Mike, Oyster Cult.
Blue.
Galvin, Two Men.
Boys.
Galvin,
What's his name?
The Elephant.
Cage.
Mike,
Hey, they're legends.
War Kids.
Cold.
Geo, Punk.
Daft.
Galvin, Kennedy's.
Dead.
Galvin, Purple.
Rain.
Deep.
Mike,
Idiot.
Straits.
Dire.
Mike, and the Bunnymen.
Echo.
Mike, what? Outboy.
Fall.
Mike, Young Cannibals.
Fine.
Mike, For Fighting.
5.
Mike, Charlotte.
Good.
Mike, and Roses.
Guns.
Galvin, and Oates.
Oh.
Pap.
Michael.
Thank you, Joe.
Mike gets the point.
It's the worst.
I don't know who that was. I gotta be honest with you.
And Pap.
And I know it wasn't you.
To me, it sounded like me, but we all answered, so I don't know.
We're halfway there.
Gio has a single point on the board. Galvin has 5, and Michael is your leader right now. He's winning by 5 with 10.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you had that run, man.
All right, we're doing bands that start with 4 letters. Your next one, Maiden.
Iron.
Mike, Crimson.
Red.
No, King. Jesus.
Galvin, and the Gang.
Cool.
Galvin. What?
It's like he was waiting for that one.
Biscuit.
Limp.
Oh.
Geo,
Damn right.
and the Mechanic.
Mike.
Mike. Inch Nails.
9.
Mike.
No, Judge.
That was Michael.
I heard Gio. I did hear
Integrity.
it.
Yeah.
But I was talking, so I don't know, but I did hear Gio.
No, the expert over here gave it to you
Yeah.
again. So
No,
I'm just being integral. No.
Integrity. Geo gets the point. Roach.
Papa.
Geo. Against the Machine.
Rage.
Rage. Galvin. And Peppa.
Salt.
Galvin. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
Yoko.
Patrol.
Dawn.
Blank Patrol.
Snow.
Snow.
That's
beat
it.
me.
Damn it.
Mike.
Dawn Patrol is the morning show at WEBM in Cincinnati because I almost said it too.
I wanted to say Paw Patrol.
Did De La Soul have Dawn Patrol? Was there a song or an album? Yeah, I don't know.
Your next one. Cell.
Soft.
Galvin.
Like your wiener.
Wait. Doctors.
Spin.
Geo. Might be
They.
Giants.
Oh.
They, Mike, and Pap. We are on the last 3.
Gio has 5 points on the board. Galvin has 10, and Michael is your leader by 4. He's winning with 14.
All right, bands that start with 4 letters. Last 3. Here we go. Lizzie,
Spin.
Mike, Chung,
Wang.
Mike, and your last one, Cherry.
Buck. Buck. What?
No,
Nina.
Blake, Cherry.
Not Buck. Not Nina.
I know what it is.
Wild.
Oh,
What
Play
is,
that
what
funky
is
music.
Wild Cherry?
Play that funky music.
Oh, I didn't know that.
get out of here.
Get out of
The
here.
only cherry is Buck Cherry.
It's one word though.
Buck Cherry's one word. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right.
Oh,
Nina is a person.
yeah.
But she was an artist, but yeah.
Not my cherry.
Wild Cherry.
Not my cherry. Cherries. I'm so hungry now.
Your final score, Gio with 5 points on the board. Galvin doubling that with 10, and Michael is your triumphant champion today. He won with 16.
Ooh. Carmen,
Yes.
what does it mean when you crave fruit?
Sugar.
Like I don't have some like vitamin deficiency or something like that.
But usually, since you're on the diet, usually you're like craving sugar.
I just woke up this morning and I was like, I want cranberry juice. I never said that in my life. And then I was thinking about eating cantaloupe before, and I went, "Oh, something's wrong with me."
Are you doing any meth?
No, I'm not doing any meth.
Your diet's telling you can't have like a candy bar or a donut, so you're
Right. So you're
falling
craving.
back on sugar. you know?
Really? Because I'll just go eat a goddamn candy bar if that's what I want to eat right now. I'm in wild time.
You are way off the rails.
Way
man.
off the rails.
That's what it is. I think is because you went off the rails. Now your body's craving other stuff because your body craves what you eat. But if you haven't had sugar for quite some time, and if you're eating pasta and the sauce is a lot of sugar, the churros a lot of sugar, all that stuff. So now you've reintroduced a bunch of sugar, and now
Yeah, but I
sugar.
really haven't because I didn't have pasta. I had fish. You know what I mean? Like when I went to Donatello's.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm not eating too bad.
What sauces and stuff? Was there sauces on it? The oysters had sauces. And the alcohol has a lot of
let's not
sugar.
get crazy.
Yeah, well, you're trying to figure it out. It's
Yeah.
Tuesday, by the way.
Maybe I won't. I love how this guy Kevin Sorbo became some sort of news guy because he was famous playing Hercules on TV, a terrible show that nobody watched. And then the guy came out and he says some right-wing stuff, and now he's like Fox's go-to
But they
guy.
rally around those people. Like Rob Schneider is a total
A political pundit now.
Yeah.
Kid
Yeah.
Rock is like an expert on politics.
Like Kid Rock is the guy we're going
It's
to.
like they're so desperate for any type of star power that they'll just,
Is that it though, or because they're
know.
making these people bigger stars?
right.
Like Kevin Sorbo should be loving this.
I think now there are people that are specifically doing it only in hopes to get
Yes.
that rotation
Because
of
they
people.
see how it goes and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, because like you said, Kevin Sorbo was C-list actor on a show that nobody really watched.
Right.
And, whatever. And then he says some stuff, and then he fights with people, and then he's, very much stands his ground on his point of view.
Yeah.
And everybody's
Yeah.
like, whatever, washed up Hercules, this and then he's like,
I know.
I was on TV. Ugh.
I should have that as a radio talk show host. I should have that. I have my view, and my view is right. But I'm so. I mean, I know how I feel, but I also know that I'm not always right, and I learn a lot of stuff, and it's just hard for me to be mad at people for not agreeing with me because sometimes I have to see the other side of things. I don't know. It's just weird.
Yeah, but that's
I
a
can-
normal, rational person.
There's
a lot of people.
I probably should be one of those guys. I'm the right way to go and listen to what I say, but don't listen to me. I didn't even finish college. What do I know about these things?
But think if you're like a Rob Schneider, you've done nothing. You were doing nothing, and now you're
still doing nothing.
Right.
Without Adam Sandler, you've done nothing in your career.
now you're showing up on Fox News as some political pundit, and you're probably selling some more tickets at your shows.
Yeah, and you're doing your new stand-up special on Fox and doing that stuff. If I was Rob Schneider, I think I would be afraid of being too political where Adam would be like, I don't want you in the movies anymore.
Yeah.
Because that's really the only thing you have going for you.
But you were just, you can do it. That was your
Right.
big thing. And Deuce Bigelow.
And then he would, whenever he goes on tour, he takes those guys and does
Yeah.
stuff. But that was, what else has Rob Schneider done that hasn't been Adam Sandler, or at least Adam Sandler produced?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Without it, he's the Dan Aykroyd of modern day movies.
Yeah.
Without another actor, he's never done a movie that is good.
Because you have guys like David Spade that'll do other stuff.
Oh,
you have Chris Rock that'll do but then does stuff with Adam Sandler.
Right.
I said Deuce Bigelow is the only thing I can think of that was actually funny.
Right. But even that was probably
That was
Happy
Produced
Gilmore.
by Happy Madison.
Yeah.
He was in that movie where he was the girl.
Definitely not a good movie.
Hot chick.
Hot chick, yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid, but yeah. I'm just saying, that was one of his movies without
Yeah.
Adam Sandler.
The Animal. Remember he turned into animals?
That I think was the one where we both made out with the same girl.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. She was on
Colleen
Survivor or
from
something.
Survivor, yeah.
Oh,
I met her at a Super Bowl party here in Tampa.
Little blonde chick?
Yeah. She was adorable. That was one of I was so happy.
You and Rob Schneider.
Me and Rob Schneider, except he got paid to do it.
That's true.
I got to pick a winner, right?
Yes.
All right. Good morning. Who is this?
Nathan Alley.
How you doing, Nathan?
Good.
What do you do for a living, sir?
Project manager for an electric production company.
Damn right. He was a top guy right there, project manager. I'm going to put you on hold. Carmen will grab you during the break, and you pick a prize, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. Have a great day.
So real quick, I want you to do something, and all you guys can do it with your computer. I was looking at the hot chick to see whether it was a Happy Madison production or anything like that, but it came up with the cast. Put in Sam Domit, Doumit.
Hold on, my thing is stuck. Sam Doumit. It won't.
If we were making a movie, who would she play that we know? She would be the actress that would portray
Oh, Danielle.
Danielle,
Yeah.
right? As soon as I look, I go, was Danielle in that movie?
Yeah, it does look like it. Wow.
Right? And there's one where she has her hair like Danielle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, good Lord, that looks exactly like her.
Yeah.
We should do that. We should cast the
The
station.
building?
Yeah.
No, because it's going to get bad.
Yeah.
You know who plays Jason Meter?
Yeah.
Who?
I've always said Louis C.K.
He does. They do look just the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Or I know exactly who else you're going to say.
No, I got a young version, but go ahead.
Oh, from The Office, the manager that's over all of them.
Oh yeah,
Where
he's
he goes,
great. Yeah, the guy who was at the head.
Yeah, why can't I think
I don't
of
know
his
his
name?
name either.
I don't know his name either.
I know who you're talking about.
Where he calls and says he
Yeah.
has his kid.
Yeah,
You know?
Guy, he's got the glasses.
I was thinking if they did like an early version of the Cox Building and how it came together, and Jason was just a sales guy. He's played by Cousin Greg from.
Yeah.
from
That would be good.
All right, what do we have coming up in news?
Coming up in news today, used jock straps for sale.
Oh, good.
Talk to Chris Rock, and good luck finding it, Magellan.
Never pay full price for a jock.
No.
All right, Galvin, as your news. We'll take a quick break, come back, dive right into that next. Craig Gass will be here in the 8 o'clock hour, and Acid Dom will be here to take your legal calls in the 9 o'clock hour. It's the Mike Calta Show. This is 102.5 The Bone. Gio, you were quite a hit as burger guy. I know you don't like those pictures. So
no.
I showed that in solidarity yesterday that I would not let you suffer alone. If you are not on Instagram, get on it right now at the Mike Calta Show. I was laying in bed yesterday in the afternoon. I was taking a nap, and I took a picture of me. I was wearing my glasses, and I had my sleep apnea mask on. So I texted my wife, and I said, "Do you want to have sex?" And she wrote back, "Not really." And I wrote back, "Wait, don't answer yet." And I sent her that picture. I said, "How about now?"
Didn't help.
And it did not help at all. But then I took that picture and I gave it to ChatGPT and I asked it to make me a fighter pilot. And it did. It made me a fighter pilot with my sleep apnea mask on. So that picture is up and available at the Mike Calta Show on Instagram if you want to go give it a little like and Gio.
Yeah, fighter pilot, same as burger guy. It's
Nah.
great, yeah.
I mean, think about it. It's a fighter pilot with a sleep apnea mask on. Plus, my face looks so squinched and fat. It gave me Chinese
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah, definitely in the same thing.
I love how ChatGPT, though, takes all the things that I've put in it and adds it to another. I didn't ask it to write Pipple Toddler on my helmet, and it just did that on its own.
Yeah, they're saving everything you
Yeah.
ever put in there.
Everything.
You love ChatGPT. You love AI.
I do.
You just wanted to take over.
No.
No.
I was gonna say no, but I'm like, maybe. Maybe.
It's pretty great.
It is pretty great.
Have
I
you
mean,
seen now that they can do like full videos?
yeah, I mean, I've seen other people do that. I don't know how to do all that stuff.
Well, yeah. So Google now, their new AI can create full videos with synced up audio and everything. There's this one guy who's been doing like these stormtrooper videos, and it's like these stormtroopers and they're cursing and they're yelling and stuff. It's like these vlogs.
It's pretty amazing.
It looks like a movie.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah,
it's insane.
All these people that went to school to make movies and all that stuff now are just talking into their phone and doing it on their own.
And that Google AI, it's like $200. It's I think $250 a month.
Really?
Yeah, but
I think I
brand
paid
new.
$20 a month for this one.
yeah.
But I'm happy with that. I don't need to be creating movies.
I mean, the videos it's really impressive. That's how they're doing like some of those baby videos and stuff.
Oh yeah. That stuff's cute for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Then it gets annoying. All right, we got a lot of things to talk about. LA. So last year, I was supposed to go on a trip with my son. We were going to go to Vegas. It was my son and Pete and his son. We were going to go to the UFC fight, and then Conor McGregor bailed out of the fight. So we bailed out of the fight, and we didn't go. But in the meantime, I've got like $5,000 worth of airline credit that's going to expire in 5 days. I need to book a flight. I need to book a trip somewhere. I wonder how cheap it is to fly to LA right now. I wonder if I go to fly to LA, if I'm flying in there. Like, I mean, I wouldn't go there right now.
Yeah, I wonder does it sway that much?
Yes.
Does it?
Yes.
I
Like, Galvin, here's how I can tell you. I was trying to find Tampa to New York tickets one time to go to the World Series. And the minute the Yankees clinched and won the World Series, the prices went up like $100 because they knew everybody was rushing to the internet to buy tickets. So
Yeah. I don't know.
what is that noise?
Dog?
No,
No, it's like a.
the cadence is too. Joe, will you go out in the hall and see if
Yep.
something's going? You hear it?
Yeah. It sounds like a dog bark on a loop.
On
It's
a
like,
loop.
"Arf,
Yeah.
arf, arf."
Oh,
No, that's a
that's
dog.
a dog.
Yeah.
Is it my dog?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Sorry. I just want to make
Loud
sure
ass
everything's
dog.
okay.
Told you it was dog.
Anyway, any updates? Do they have flights?
Looks like, let's see. Let's go cheapest.
No, I can't unhear it.
No, yeah.
Oh, $350.
Are you serious?
$394 is the
Yeah,
cheapest
see.
flight. That's on Frontier
Oh, I'm
Airlines.
not flying on Frontier.
It's not one stop.
I would pay $600 on United before I paid $300 on Frontier.
Southwest 500. Let's see.
Yeah, it seems like it should be cheaper. It seems like if you're flying into a war zone, it should be cheaper at this
Yeah,
point.
but I don't think like the whole city is a war
It's
zone.
L.A. in general. That's what. They're
It's-
making it look like it's on fire.
But I think it's like kind of centralized to one location where this is going down.
All right. All I'm saying is, if it went down, I might go to L.A. and then drive somewhere else from L.A. if I can get a cheaper flight.
And this is flying out tomorrow.
Oh, right in the middle. I'll wait till the fires get bigger and then I'll start looking.
I think it needs to spread throughout the whole city
Right.
first.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to check in with Galvin. He has today's news.
And now, news with Galvin on the Mike Calta Show.
What do we have in news today, Galvin?
Well, today's top story, the Pentagon is mobilizing an additional 2,000 National Guard troops to Los Angeles on President Donald Trump's order, escalating the ongoing feud with California Governor Gavin Newsom. Earlier, they announced that they had sent 700 Marines to backstop the National Guard, which Trump ordered deployed this past weekend to quell clashes between demonstrators and law enforcement after immigration raids in the region. Monday night's announcement pushes the number of military personnel mobilized for duty in Los Angeles to approximately 4,800. Newsom blamed Trump for the chaos and said California will send more than 800 additional law enforcement officers to the city to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, so I'm really torn between this. So this is the people demonstrating against ICE, right?
Mhm, right.
And part of me is like, well, look, ICE is doing their job. These people are here illegally. The rule is, blah, blah, blah. And then I watched this video yesterday. The video of the woman getting arrested and deported, and she's the mother of 3 kids, and the husband's like, she's going back now, and I got 3 daughters at home, and I have to work. Like, I don't know how to, and I just saw these families are being ripped apart, and that's just horrible. And it's I couldn't make these decisions as easily as the president seems to be making them because I feel so awful for the people.
Yeah, but it's also, and I completely understand that, but if you're going by rule of law,
I know.
if she would have robbed a bank, the same thing would happen. She'd
Right.
be going to
no,
jail
I
or,
get it.
whatever.
But trust me, I get it, and I understand why the amount of illegals here we have are a problem. But there should be some sort of middle ground where we're like, hey, look, if they've I don't know what's the answer. If
Yeah.
they're here,
If they're functioning members of society.
yeah, but how do you decide
Right.
who is
and,
and who isn't?
And do you know how long it would take to do it that
Sure.
way? It's either black
Well,
or
I mean, they're
white.
never going to just get them all out.
No, I
You
know,
what
but I mean, if you're going to try and get a lot out, you're going to have to go, okay, these are the hard and fast rules. Because if you go case by case, then you're like, well, this one, no,
Yeah.
this one goes, yeah, this one's. That would take years and years.
and there
years.
would be so much corruption there
Right,
about
yeah.
who gets to stay and who
Do
doesn't.
I get to stay now? Pass a
Right,
bag of money
right.
over. Well, the protests made it all the way to Tampa. More than 200 people gathered in downtown Tampa on Monday.
Not 200.
Yes, on Monday afternoon to protest ICE raids in Los Angeles and other areas in the country. The protest was called by several groups, although people who appeared to be leaders of the protest would not identify who they were. Well, we're not naming organizations, said one woman who would only identify herself as dandelion. She carried a bullhorn and screamed in the streets, saying she was there to support the protesters in L.A. Adam Francisco came wearing a Make America Great Again hat. He said, quote, "I'm here to support President Donald Trump. You know, we the people voted for the mass deportation of those that have entered our country illegally." Protesters repeatedly entered Kennedy Boulevard on a red light, but then left once it turned green, standing in front of cars but allowing cars to pass. Eventually,
Don't be pussies. If you're gonna do it the right way.
well, they at least got some shoving.
Have some balls about you.
No, they at least got some shoving in and stuff. It says eventually the two groups opposing each other did more than scream. Shoving started at a unit of Tampa police officers and Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputies stepped in to intervene. The protest began around 3 p.m., mostly ended by 7:30. Some of the people at the protest said, "We'll be back during the summer."
Oh, well, hey, we'll see. Look, you want to go stand outside? Well, it's a heat index of 100. Knock yourself out. See how long you last out there. I would love to take some phone calls and see honestly what people think, because I think we're all on the same page as far as, you know, you want to get the illegals out, but then how do you rip them from their families? How do you go and you get a guy who his family made it over here legally. His kids were born here, so they're American citizens. The mother somehow got her citizenship. The father can't. And he's been working and living there for 5 years now from Guadalajara. And now all of a sudden they just come and yoke him up and take him away from his family. I mean, you have to have some sort of sympathy for that. He's if he's a productive member of society and he's working and he's trying to get his, shouldn't there be an easier way to citizenship as opposed to just yanking people away and pulling them away from their families? Not saying that what they're doing is necessarily wrong. It's just sad. It's a sad situation.
Yeah, because it's really just a lottery where you were born. You know, they could have been born in the United States. But the thing is there an easier way? I don't know whether an easier way, but there is a way, which you should have done in the first time.
Right, but we know that system is broken.
Yeah.
We know that system is broken, so we should look at it and we should say, hey, look, I get it. A lot of these people want to come in here and they want to do it the right way, but our right way is so difficult to do that, or decide and coming together as a country and saying we're closed for a little while. We're not taking any more people in there.
There's got to be some way to separate the scumbags and murderers and pedophiles and criminals from people who are trying to really make a life.
Yes, I agree. But I believe we're so far gone at this point that it's hard to differentiate.
So it's all or nothing, basically.
Between who is who. Yeah. Mike Calta Show, good morning.
Hey, Mike, good morning. How are you today?
Good. What's happening?
I want to just want to comment a little bit about what's going on in California and LA and throughout the country.
Please.
I love how people are omitting the term several times, illegal. They're here illegally. Of course you're going to be separated. You have to be accountable for your own self, whether you speak the language or not. You're here illegally.
Let me ask you a question, and I don't disagree with you, sir. I'm telling you right out of the gate. I get it. Do you feel the same anger towards an illegal immigrant as you do to somebody who is a bank robber?
Yes.
Why?
The law is the law.
And I know that, but
it's the word illegal.
I know that, but I'm asking you: would you harbor a bank robber before you harbored somebody who is an illegal immigrant?
I wouldn't aid or assist either one of them.
Yeah. So you're that. And I'm not judging you either. I'm just asking you. You are that set against. Now, what about people who have been living here illegally for a certain amount of time? Let's say they've been here for 10 years, and now all of a sudden they're just completely uprooted and torn apart from their family. You have no sympathy towards that whatsoever?
No, they've been living in fear the whole time, knowing they do not belong here.
But they're living in fear. But they're living in fear, and they're doing that because the situation that they were born into is so bad that most of the time they were willing to risk their life to get to make the trip over here, or pay their life savings to a guy to drive them over the border. It was so bad where they were that they were willing to come here and fight for it and risk their lives to do it. And you don't think that they deserve any sort of leniency?
I summarize it in one word, Mike: due process.
All right. I got you, sir. Thank you for your call. I appreciate it, buddy.
It was a good build-up, but that was 2 words.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to say one word, no, but a due process.
Mike Calta Show, good morning.
Hey, good morning. This is Eric up in Spring Hill. How are you?
Good. What's happening, buddy?
Good. Listen, I'm for law enforcement in New York. Okay? Listen, there's illegal immigrants. There's immigrants that came here illegally, but there's two different kinds. Okay? There's people that, like you said, come here because they're so miserable in their own country, whether they got to live in fear, whatever. But here's my point. The ones that are here that are working hard for years and years and years, I say give them due process. Give them a chance to become a legal citizen, but have to go through the process while they're here.
Yes.
If they don't go through the process, then deport them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
You've given the option. We're giving you the option.
Right.
You're here. We're
Here's
giving you the
your
option. Yep.
They're law-abiding citizens. They're working hard. They've moved with their families. They're not doing anything criminal activity. Let them stay. Okay. Because they cut the line, a lot of people are going to be pissed off, but that's all right. Let it be. There's too much. We got too much going on in this country to be worried about that.
I'm not lying.
Now,
At first, I thought you said because they cut your lawn. You said they cut the lawn.
They cut the line. Yeah, it's a New York accent, man. But the ones that are bad guys, they got to get out. And this protesting bullshit's got to stop.
No.
They're all paid by political influences. That's all that is.
All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Can't say that word though. I agree with that. I don't know if that's what you people want to hear or not, but that's how I feel. I feel like if these people are here, I think it's because I spent time in Miami. I lived in Miami for a while. I lived with a Cuban refugee family. I mean, don't get me wrong, they were millionaires now, but they came here as Cuban refugees. They had escaped through Jamaica from Cuba to come here, had to leave everything behind in Cuba. One member was a jeweler, another member of the family was a doctor, and they had to leave everything to get out of Cuba. And they had to come here through Jamaica, and then Jamaica they had to sneak into here, and then once they were here, they had to become citizens, and they had to seek political asylum, so they were allowed in the country, but they had to go through the process and become citizens, and then they used that citizenship to go to college and become doctors. Was a friend of my family was very instrumental in creating solar panels back in the 70s. I mean, they became productive members of society, all because they came here seeking political asylum from leaving Cuba. So I know a little bit of what it's like for those people who suffered and who want to get out of their country and who want to give their kids a better life and have a chance to come over here. I agree that the ones who come over here, even the ones who snuck over here and have been living here and members of society for years, they deserve a chance to. I don't believe it's cutting the head of the line. I think that they've put in their time. You know what I mean? It's like it's like Diddy. Say Diddy gets sentenced to jail time. He's already going to get credit for all the time that he's been sitting in jail during the trial. That's what I think that they should do. They should give him the credit for the time that they were here. Yeah, Carmen.
Right. But the difference is, like, the family that you're speaking about, how often is that the case?
Well,
you know what I mean? I'm like, that is not the case for every illegal
And
immigrant that comes over.
Having lived in Miami, I see a lot of the people who also came here seeking political asylum from Cuba that became cleaning ladies and that opened up a small cafe and ended up working for a company that makes tires, and some of them are teachers. Yeah, they're not all going to become college-educated, successful doctors.
But no, I'm not even talking about that.
Yeah,
even
some become rapists and murderers.
Gang members. And
But there was plenty of rapists and murderers in this country before anybody came over either.
Right, but that's also the problem. We're just adding to that criminal activity.
Yeah, but the hard part is you can't look at somebody as they're coming in here to be a citizen and go, you look like rapists.
There's got to be a way to try and separate the two.
But also,
look at their record.
Yeah.
If they have a record, they're out.
A lot of times they're not on record because they're not.
Yeah. But if there's plenty of illegals living here who have been arrested 3-4 times for things that are criminal.
Yeah.
And those are the people that you can say, look, you got a history, you're out.
A lot of times there's no way to find out the records of these people to other countries.
Before they come over here.
You don't know what they did before they got there. And then you find out they were gang members and they were rapists and they were murderers and they're criminals.
And a lot of times they'll just pick them up on something, whatever charge it is and stuff, and just deport them. They don't even serve any time in here, and then they come back and do something else, and then they don't even have them on record.
You also have to take into consideration, and it's much easier to just say, no, they're illegal and kick them out, but you also have to take into consideration that some of these people who are gang members, it's a lot of times like you go to jail. You don't want to be a gang member in jail, and you don't want to be racist in jail, but you're hanging out with the white guys when you go to jail because you don't want to get your ass kicked every day.
Yeah.
So these people are becoming gang members in their own country because that's the only way that they can survive, And some of these places, that's the only way that you can live.
But you were saying about, them here for a certain amount of time, and then they go through the process and do everything. And listen, I get it. Like, I understand that. And if they're, wind up being a productive member of society, you're like, okay, these people did it not the right way, but at least they're putting in the effort of doing that stuff. But that's also equating it to somebody who goes and robs a bank and then invests that money well and makes money off that. and then you go, well, you robbed the bank.
But
And
I
they
don't
go,
equate it to
But
that.
then they go, oh, well, we'll give you that $1 million back. That's
but I
starting
don't.
us out.
I
You
don't
know what
equate
mean?
it. It's
But
two
you're
different.
saying it's serving time like P Diddy. That's not the same thing.
No, but what I'm saying is what you living here and you being a member of society, a productive member of society without your citizenship for the last 5 years, that should count for something.
Oh, yeah. I
That
thought
should
you were
count
saying
for
about
something.
the time that they were in here illegally. They were already in here illegally.
No, but that's what I'm saying. They're here illegally. They've lived here for 5 years. They are one piece of paper away from being an American citizen. It's not because they didn't want to get it; they couldn't afford to get
But-
it.
It's not a violent crime.
It's not a violent crime.
Yeah.
But also, how do you measure who's a productive member of society?
by who's working and paying their taxes. It's a simple thing. If you come here, you have no criminal record, you're working and you're paying your taxes, you're fine.
But just like you're saying, the system's broken to get in. That system, it would just take forever
Well,
to
I know.
figure out.
But what's the
everybody.
best thing to do? Is start just individually ripping people away from their families, taking mothers out of a family,
Yeah,
and
I'm
supporting
not
her
saying
back.
that's the best
I
thing.
know
Yeah,
you're not.
I
I know.
don't-
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is, but yeah, there's like I was saying, you right now have to go hard and fast rules. It's just this or this. You can't be wishy-washy, whatever, because if you are, that's going to take the longest process. in the
So
world.
I know what the law is, and I know that these people are here illegally. I'm not saying that that's the thing. So now we're in L.A. because we know the governor and the president do not get along. So we doing this in every state now? I mean, in Miami, there's still plenty of people down there that are illegal. Are we going to go to Oregon and start ripping people out of their
they're
family
doing
there?
it.
I
They're
think a
doing
lot
it
of
all over.
A lot of it is political posturing.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. But also, I mean, to give it to Trump, this is what he got elected for. This is what the people
Yeah.
wanted
Yeah.
him for.
Right. He said this is what he was going to do.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of it is political theater. It's for show.
Right, but it's for show and it's for votes and it's for politics.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, it's destroying the lives of people, not just the people either that are the illegals. What about if you're a property owner in Los Angeles? What if
Yeah.
you're just an average citizen in Los Angeles and can't operate on a day-to-day basis because now 5,000 Marines are coming in to handle a situation that's gotten so far out of control,
Yeah.
and it's
or,
only going to get worse.
or has it got under control? We don't you don't even know what to believe when you see these news reports.
I've seen a lot of fire.
yeah.
That seems to be good enough for me.
Yeah, but like when I watch these reports, I don't know who to believe. Is it worse? Is it better? Is it not that bad? Is it horrible? You know, because one channel says it's not that bad, the next channel says this is the worst thing that's ever happened to California.
Yeah, well, I guess
So-
it depends on who you ask.
Exactly. So what's the truth of it? You know?
Mike Calta Show, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Hi. I was calling in reference to the illegal citizens that are coming in.
Yeah, go ahead. Just lower your radio. What do you got?
Okay. I have to say that if you were paying attention and watching, they're not throwing every illegal alien out. They are ciphering through the bad and the good.
How are they doing
And the
that?
bad ones
How are
with
they doing
criminal
it?
records are going because they're checking them. They're making sure those with records are gone.
No,
That's what they're doing.
That's not the only people
Those
that
that
they're
have
throwing.
been
Listen, if you pay attention, which I did yesterday,
I
it's
am
not,
paying attention.
you are
I
clearly
watched
not paying.
it.
You are seeing what you want to see is what you're doing, and you got to learn how to lower your radio. They're not only taking the people out there with criminal records. I watched it yesterday. They were taking away. If you want to consider them being illegal, a criminal record, that's what they're doing. It's not everybody out there. They're not going door to door. Look, hey, Julio here. Yeah, Julio. Oh, you're okay, but you got arrested for dealing drugs once you're gone. That's not what they're doing. That's not what they're doing at all. And don't talk to me like that. If you pay
I
attention, I'll
know.
smack
If
you right
you
in your
pay
mouth.
attention.
Mike Calta Show. Good morning.
Hey guys, isn't when a Cuban refugee hits American soil, don't they immediately become citizens?
I don't think they become citizens. They're able to seek political refugee here.
Diplomatic
They're able to seek refugee. What am I saying?
Political asylum.
Political asylum.
Um,
Thank you.
Okay, I get, but and then the one question I got, if they want to draw some sympathy, how about stop waving the Mexican flags and everything else? Wave American flags if you want to draw some sympathy.
100%, sir. I have no. I am with you on that all day. If a lot of people I was reading yesterday. There's a lot of Mexicans, a lot of Spanish, a lot of Asians, and there. Once you become here, it's not about. It's about becoming American once you become here, and I think that's what pisses the most people off. If you want to wave your Mexican flag, then go back to goddamn Mexico.
Exactly. I mean, if you're escaping that country, or if you want a better life, why are you showing that in our face as you're burning our cars?
The country that chewed you up and spit you out so that you had to come here and try to make a life for yourself and your family. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. 100%. Thank you, sir.
But okay, now let's say
Oh, here we go.
No, I'm just
No, I'm just
asking because you said like if we're gonna go through, if we're gonna sift through the people, and let's say they're productive members of society, they work and pay their taxes, but they're waving the Mexican flag. Do they get deported for being illegal because they don't support America?
No, you have to support America. But I mean, you
also have freedom of speech.
Listen, I'm a very
so
proud Italian. You know what I mean? I'm very proud of my heritage. You can still be proud of being Mexican and being who you are. But when you're out there in the street during a protest and you're waving a Mexican flag or any other country's flag, that's an act of aggression.
But,
That's going out there and
You're also
saying,
burning the American flag
yeah,
too.
there's a big difference.
Right, but again, I'm not saying someone who burned anything. I'm saying someone who has a job, pays their taxes, but now they're waving the Mexican flag in protest.
I know.
Do they? You know what I mean? Like that's the problem.
But
Where do you draw the
Gio
line?
said, you have freedom of speech. You're allowed to do that.
Yeah, that's protected by the Constitution. You can do that.
Right, but I'm just saying if we're like trying to figure out who gets to stay and who gets to go or who has to go.
Yeah, you can't.
Like,
you get to stay. If you get to wave whatever flag you want, you can go out there with a Klan flag in this country if you want to. That's not how you make the decision.
They should get deported too. I mean, we're gonna be honest.
I mean, that's against the Constitution, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm not
just
voting
saying.
for you, Carmen.
We're taking people's rights away. No.
I don't know. I guess this is what we're calling her now. Swedish campaigner Greta Thunberg.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How dare you? Was deported from Israel on Tuesday. The Israeli Foreign Ministry said the day after the Israeli Navy prevented her and a group of fellow pro-Palestinian activists from sailing to Gaza.
It's not so cute anymore when she's not a little kid.
No, and she's
it's a
rough
pasty.
looking. Yeah, she's scary.
She's all about.
What is she doing? What was she going?
You were gonna sail into Israel and
You let her go.
Yeah,
let her go.
Yeah,
let her go. See how that works out.
The Florida Panthers, after beating the Edmonton Oilers in double overtime in Game 2, have evened the series at 1 game apiece. No, that's not true.
2-1.
They won 2-1.
Yeah,
this thing's wrong. The Panthers clobbered the Oilers 6-1 last night to take a 2-1 lead in the Stanley Cup. Florida hosts Edmonton on Thursday on June 12th at 8 p.m. for Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final.
I'm not watching any of it.
Oh, I've been watching it. It's been great, man.
I know.
There was so many fights last night. It was banana, and not like this. These two guys are fighting. Everybody on the ice was fighting.
Sure.
It was like somebody hit somebody, and they just started.
I think that's the Panthers' game, though. They get in their head, and that's what they do.
They
now
totally
that the
do.
Rat's there.
Yeah.
They totally do, and the Oilers couldn't handle it. And the announcers were even talking about it. They go, if the Oilers are letting them get to the Panthers, letting them get to them like this, they're not going to have a chance in this series because that's what the Panthers do.
That's what they did to the Lightning, I feel.
By the way, the Rat had a goal 54 seconds into the first period, so he scored the overtime goal in the last game and then scored the first goal in this game in like 54 seconds.
Yeah, well, I say Panthers in 5.
Man,
that was a brutal ass beating.
I called Oilers in 6, but Jesus, the Panthers are crushing. It's unbelievable.
Like they just dominate teams. It's crazy.
If you would like some hockey memorabilia, well, you can buy yourself a used jockstrap if you want to. Actually, a bunch of different stuff. The Tampa Bay Lightning are set to host a locker room sale this Saturday on the Pepsi porch at Amalie Arena.
That's cool.
Yeah, all attendees will have a chance to purchase game-used equipment and player-worn apparel. Proceeds will benefit the Lightning Foundation. Fans can also visit the Tampa Bay Sports Sidewalk sale and save up to 50% on select items. The locker room sale is Saturday and starts at 9 a.m.
Yeah, we were just talking about this a couple of weeks ago, weren't we?
Well, the Rays,
Lightning used to do this.
The Rays did the thing. Yeah, so
this is great. This is where my son bought. I bought my son Anton Stroman's glove. And then later on, Stroman saw it and he was like, he recognized it. He was like, yeah, that's my glove. And he signed it for Joey. And yeah, it's a great opportunity for you to get stuff also to use if you're a kid. And I mean, they use these things one time and then they're done.
Right. Yeah. But it'd be very cool to have some, Vassy jersey, from whatever game, this, that.
If it's anything like the Rays one they did a couple weeks ago, get there early.
Oh, yeah. You
the Rays sold out of everything by like noon.
Yeah, this starts at 9 a.m. on Saturday, so you can go check it out. It's at the Amalie Arena. It's on the Pepsi porch.
That's
and they're
very
going to
cool.
be out front there, too, as well. The New York Times did a story on how rich people are doing fine water tastings, and I'd like to be involved in this. It tastes different depending on the mix of minerals, and some types go for hundreds of dollars a bottle. A recent fine water competition featured one made from the mist collected in a pine forest in Tasmania. I would like to try that for
Me
sure.
too.
Right?
And then also put it next to water from the toilet and see if you can tell the difference.
Well, yeah, I guess you could do that and try it out and stuff. But yeah, that I think that would be great to try out the mist
Water.
from the pine forest. According to a new report, the average American only gets 9.5 hours to themselves every month,
Oh, that's not true.
which is not a lot. That's 570 minutes. But if you break it down, it's 2 hours and 20 minutes per week or 20 minutes per day. 20 minutes per day.
I think I get a lot
by
of alone
yourself.
time.
I get a lot. I think I get a lot of time where I'm by myself. Gio may not.
No.
Yeah, you got young kids, so I mean, my daughter.
No, my kids are old.
Oh, how old's your daughter?
15?
Oh, I thought she was like my daughter's age.
No.
Oh, so you should be getting time away from your kids. That's about when they leave you.
Yeah, I mean, they're always around the house.
Yeah, but see, mine are. Mine want to go out. They want to be like, I don't know. I never see Joey. Like, when Joey, every time I see Joey, I look at him and I go, "There's a rare appearance in the kitchen right now."
The most common thing that gets in the way are family obligations, work commitments, financial constraints, social obligations, or guilt. People would be willing to cough up a major cash for a full day of peace and quiet. The average American would pay $2,521 for a totally free day.
Oh, my wife works from home. She's an office at home, and she does online, like telehealth things.
Mm-hmm.
So she has a sound machine in the hallway that creates like white noise so that you don't hear what she's talking about in the room. So I couldn't be more alone. Like she's just in that one room. I got the whole run of the house.
The report also says people would be willing to pay an average of $340 for just 1 extra hour of sleep.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
See, I feel like I've been getting my naps in. I feel like I've been getting good sleep.
If they had an alarm that went off and then a button next to it, that if you hit the button, it was $340, but you got an extra hour of sleep.
I'd be broke.
How many? You'd be like,
I'd be broke.
There's some days I would definitely hit it.
Yeah.
I don't think I would. I don't.
If there was a button that said, "Hey, the show starts at 8 today instead of 6," I'd hit the button. $200.
It's $340 every time you hit that button. I don't know.
There were times that my alarm goes off and I'm just laying there. I'm wide awake, just laying there, and I don't feel like moving.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden I can hear the Darth thing, and I'm like, "Oh, Galvin's here." And I still am just laying there. I don't feel like moving.
It's funny. I'll show up sometimes it's completely dark, and I'm like, gonna have to text him.
Well, I feel like you've been getting here a little early.
No, today I was actually, I think, a couple minutes later.
Really?
Than I
I
normally
just
do.
moving slow.
Yeah.
I'm moving
One
slow.
of these days, you're going to have to go up there.
No. A lot of times I get up really early and I just don't feel like moving, and then all of a sudden I start hearing doors and alarms. And I'm like, all right.
I'm letting you know, I'm never going up there.
You got to.
Yeah.
No. This guy can go up there and get a belly full of lead. I am not going up there. I'll text you. I'll call you. I may even open the garage door and go, Mike.
Hello.
You know, do one of those. But
No.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm never walking up
Smart.
there doing any of that.
You
Smart
just
move.
go up there and you just kink the hose of the sleep apnea machine.
No.
Hey, Maverick, it's time to get up. A 21-year-old man got arrested right here in Clearwater, Florida on Sunday after he called 911. He was at Oz Gentlemen's Club.
Oh,
He
I've been
called
there.
911 because why? What do you think? 21.
Girl told him she was gonna give him a lap dance. Took his money, didn't give him a lap dance.
No, that's
Oh.
not what happened.
I'm going to say he,
The opposite happened.
Oh,
yeah, he had like 5 lap dances and didn't want to pay for them.
That's one, but that's not it. Joe, any idea?
No, I'll go with that theory.
Well, that's wrong.
He just said it was wrong.
Yeah. Carmen, any 21-year-old got arrested over at Oz Gentlemen's Club. He called 911. What happened?
Because the dancer stole his drink.
Oh, no. It happened because this guy is originally from Saudi Arabia,
Oh no.
which doesn't have strip clubs. So he's probably not familiar with how they do things here. He told 911 that he, quote, requested sex from a staff member, gave them $300, but then they took him to a private room and did not have sex with him.
Oh.
$300 is the price of their 30-minute VIP champagne room package.
Wait
He
a
was
second. 30 minutes. Let me process it. 30 minutes for $300.
Mhm.
It's a lot. It's a little pricey, but what I would expect sex too
What?
for $300.
$300.
Well, what am I gonna get
No.
for a half hour? This girl just grinding on me.
Why are you going in there for?
Yeah.
I mean, who's? You know what I mean? Like,
No.
I don't want to go into the champagne room for 30 minutes and not have sex, so
Right.
I'm not paying
And
$300.
That's what I'm saying. If I pay $300, I expect some sex.
Oh, I was gonna say if you expect sex for
Not
$300,
not sex, but maybe a HJ.
you're not with the girl that you're with is probably someone you would not want to have sex with.
Okay, so
I would imagine.
So hold on, I pay $300 to go into the room, and then I give her another $200, or I give her $100 or something. That's $400 for a little HJ.
Listen, there's definitely places where I'm sure
Can
that
you
that's
tell me where
happening
those
all the
places
time.
are?
Well, let's find out what happened to this guy. So, $300 is the price for the 30-minute VIP champagne room package. He was still on the phone with the cops when they got there. They said he smelled like booze and was slurring his words. Turned out he just turned 21 last week. So they arrested him for misusing 911 and released him the same day on a $500 bail. So he was, just from Saudi Arabia. And
Right, he thought he was getting robbed.
Here's $300.
Right.
She didn't have sex with me. What's going on?
Yeah,
This
that
is
was the deal.
ridiculous.
That was the deal.
But it wasn't the deal.
Well, in his mind, it was
Right.
the deal.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, no, this is what we do. We rip you off $300.
yeah.
Not that they're ripping them off. But
Right. No, but we grind you in the room for 30 minutes.
That's if you don't know what a strip club is, you just found out the hard way.
I haven't been to Oz in probably 15 years.
Yeah.
I don't even. Do they serve alcohol in there, or he just smelled like booze?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, maybe. Pinellas County is usually.
Yeah, but it depends
then
on
not full
the
nude?
thing. Yeah, whether it's full nude or not or whatever. And it's so funny because like this one can be full nude and serve alcohol. And then you go across the street and they're like, yeah, we can't.
What's
serve
the
it.
one in
Pasco?
Newport?
You can serve full alcohol.
Only in certain areas, like that one that found the loophole. What's the one on 19?
Gold Club.
No.
Oh,
the one next to it.
Bear Assets.
Bear Assets.
Oh, Bear Assets.
Bear Assets
But-
is the one that's full nude and full alcohol.
Yeah.
But there's the one where one part, like the back is full nude, the front is bikini with a bar.
Is it? Oh,
That it's the one by Gold Club.
That's
But,
like
like-
out on Adamo Drive you're talking about.
I think it depends
Yeah.
what county you're in.
yeah.
There was the one that was out on Adamo Drive that I got the lap dance from with Ralphie, where the girl was like, "You didn't even realize I was pregnant." And I went, "Oh no, I did.
No.
I sure did."
Wait.
I realized that when it was too late, and
Come on.
I felt the baby kick.
Oh.
Yeah.
You have to pay extra for that?
No,
Yeah.
And she's like, "You didn't even know, did you?" Like, yeah, I knew. I mean, I had no choice. Ralphie put me with you and made me feel weird. I couldn't be like, "No, she's got a baby in there."
Isn't Oz like in an old Pizza Hut?
Well, no, it wasn't Oz. Oz is great. Oz has had nothing but hot
But
chicks.
I think the building is actually an old
Maybe.
red roof Pizza Hut.
But Oz, I'll tell you, I haven't been there in a long time, but I remember Oz having hot chicks.
Yeah.
There. Yeah. I know. I'm dying to go to a strip club. I've been dying to go to a strip club lately. I don't know why.
Who are you?
I don't know.
Dive bars, strip clubs,
Gambling,
churros.
pizza.
I'm off the rails.
Yeah.
I might even try meth.
He's trying to force us to get breakfast, Carmen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did. I go last break. I was like, what are we getting, breakfast? And nobody yipped up. So I'm like, no, I guess not.
We should get
I'll
breakfast.
do breakfast.
Oh, it's too late now.
Oh,
No.
I'll do my own breakfast.
Perfect.
How are you with directions?
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you can drop me anywhere and I'll figure out how to get back. I can tell you. Yeah, I'm pretty good. There's the only area I don't know around here is like St. Pete Beaches kind of area. Get me a little confused.
I'm pretty terrible with directions.
Are you really?
Yeah.
When you drove by Tropicana Field?
Yeah.
Every time when you first moved here?
Not only that, but like even with GPS, I'm pretty bad. My wife.
Really?
Oh yeah. Because it'll like say half a mile, whatever, and then it'll be like 500 feet, and I'm like, well, that's not 500 feet. It can't be this way. And then I go past it, and
You're arguing with the GPS. It's
but-
not your sense of directions. It's the fact that you've got to be right all the time.
No, it's just I don't. I can't figure it out. I'm bad with it. Only 53% of people believe they'd be excellent or good at navigating roads without turn-by-turn GPS directions.
I was fine with a map.
Yeah.
Like I knew how to read a map, and I can. I was.
I've
all right with
always
that.
been bad. Yeah, even with MapQuest, I'm like, is it
You know
this?
why?
I don't know. How
You weren't a
far.
Boy Scout.
Yeah.
I learned how to read a map in Boy Scouts.
Yeah. 72% claim they're very good at reading physical or digital maps.
Yeah, I'm good there.
I'm not. I'm bad at it. And that's and my wife gets mad and I go, I admit that I'm bad.
Right.
I go, you don't have to still be mad. I know that I can't find this. I go, I don't know.
My wife, we used to live in Tampa, right off of Tampa Road, and she one time got lost inside the community where we lived.
Oh
Right when we first moved in, she called me and she goes, "I'm embarrassed to say this, but I'm in I go, yeah, go here. And she goes, I can't. I've been driving around for 20 minutes. I can't figure out how to get out.
I will tell you, it maybe 6 months ago, I stopped using my GPS in here to get to your house.
Wait, what?
Listen, I do have. I pick up one of Juliana's friends to go to volleyball.
Yeah.
And I, for the first time, went in there without my GPS the other day because it's so many twists and turns. And I had to keep checking which ones to do.
And now it's so funny because it's so easy. It's literally straight, take a right, take a left.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's so
easy.
easy. But first doing it and it's, black, pitch black out and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know where. And easy now. Well, if you're hungry, this isn't going to help. Chipotle has a new dip for the first time in 5 years. It's adobo ranch. They say it's a smoky, spicy twist on America's favorite dressing.
All right. I'm in.
I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
Put a little bit of that on a chicken burrito.
For some reason, every time I go to Chipotle, the inside is filthy dirty.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Don't go
That's
inside.
surprising
Go to
because
the drive-thru.
most of them are so new.
Yeah. Like the last couple of times I've gone there, I'm like, there's especially the one that's up there by the outlet malls in Wesley Chapel. Like the place is a dump.
Oh, really?
Trash cans overflowing, tables not like just gross. We walked in there, we walked out like this place is disgusting.
Gross.
Yeah.
I've not had that experience.
Yeah, maybe it's just that one. I don't know, but man, they just need to look around and clean up a little bit.
Some very sad news. This is sad news for sure because I love these guys. Legendary funk rock pioneer Sly Stone passed away after a battle with COPD.
Yeah, but he's been like out of the public eye for the last 50 years.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, listen, we have the music, which is great.
Yeah.
So we have the music and stuff. But yeah, he was great. 82 years old, Sly.
That's a pretty good life.
Yeah. And he was doing some weird stuff.
Weird stuff, a lot of drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of different sex stuff and everything. Oh, he was definitely getting sex in the champagne.
Oh, yeah.
You and I will know about this because we used to watch it all the time. Sorry, I can't clear my throat. The cast of Days of Our Lives had to film the funeral for John Black while the actor who played him, Drake Hodgson, was literally dying of pancreatic cancer.
He died. Both Romans are dead.
Yeah.
Right? Wayne
So
Northrup
he was
is
the
dead
Roman, but it was John Black, whatever. Yeah. So they had to film his funeral while he was dying of
Oh.
cancer. Yeah. So this is what it's going to be like, I guess.
Jesus.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? I don't like that at all.
Although people, I would imagine people think about they want to know what their funeral is going to be like.
Yeah.
I don't.
Would you have a living funeral?
I kind of did. I mean, that was the idea behind the roast. But, I mean, nah. Like, I don't need to hear people say nice things about me, especially under duress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. I really want my death to be as less fanfare as possible. My mom died, and my mom was not. She didn't really want anything, whatever. So my brother kind of put together a funeral thing. And not in a non-funeral home environment. You know what I mean? It was like in a hall somewhere, and it ended up being really nice. Like it was good, but I didn't expect it. I don't really even want that. Unless my family wants that. Like I don't want anything. I'm dead. I don't need people to get up there and talk about what a great guy I was. I'm dead. Unless that's going to help you somehow. You get up there and share stories and do stuff and cry with other people. If that makes you happy, then do whatever you got to do.
What if, to get wherever you're going afterwards, people have to say nice stuff, kind of like Santa's sleigh?
Yeah. Oh, did you get it? Did you get it?
I don't think.
Come on, Miyagi.
Yeah.
Get him some chopsticks, will you? Yeah. If that's the case, then I need to push me up where I need to go. Yeah.
Going up there. Are Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce married?
No.
How do you know?
Because I'm friends with her dad. He would have told me.
Secretly married?
I say yes.
A wedding planner for a Chicago Bears player accidentally revealed a video, and it was a letter that was addressed to Taylor and Travis Kelce in elegant calligraphy with table 13 assignment on it. So they were invited to the wedding, and it said Taylor and Travis Kelce.
Yeah, but that just might be somebody who jumped the gun a little.
I don't know.
Probably going to get married, I think.
They should.
Yeah.
They should.
Sydney Sweeney, you said not so hot.
Not that she's not hot. She's just not doesn't do it for me.
Something about her, and she loves to show them off.
Yeah,
She
I'm not
loves
saying
to
she's
show
not
'em off.
attractive. It's just not my style.
There is a picture of her the other day, and she was wearing like kind of one of those Marilyn Monroe dresses that's up here, but it has like the big bow, whatever.
Yep.
But her boobs are like cleavage and everything, and she was pressing against the window, and I was like, oh, she loves showing them off.
I like a good dark-haired girl with tattoos.
Listen, so do I,
Yeah.
but there's something about Sydney Sweeney that I like. She gained more than 30 pounds to play. She's doing the biopic of Christy, the coal miner's daughter, Martin.
Right.
In an upcoming biopic, she said that all of it went to her boobs and ass.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
But it's so
Lucky.
funny because if you know who Christy Martin is, she has to be so happy that Sydney
No
Sweeney's
kidding.
playing her
Yeah.
because she's not what they would say was a looker.
She looked a lot like Marla Hooch from
Yeah.
A League of Their Own.
Yeah. So that's quite the upgrade. It's got to be good whenever you have like Jordan Belfort, who's an attractive guy, he's a good looking guy.
Yeah.
But to have Leo DiCaprio playing,
That was,
you, like,
I would say that was pretty comparable.
yeah. But also, like, think of the different people who have had people play them. I wonder if they agree or disagree, or they're like, oh yeah, all right, that's pretty good.
Oh, if you're in a movie, if you're a criminal and they're going to make a movie, and you're like, oh man, this is going to make it worse, and I'm like, De Niro's going to play you.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's not so bad.
exactly. Since
Who would you want to play you in the movie?
Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, I see that. I see somebody's thought about his movie before.
We've talked about this before.
I don't know who I'd want now. I used to always say
Vince Vaughn or Jason Bateman. I think would be good.
yeah.
I mean, I think Chris Hemsworth definitely playing me.
Oh,
I mean,
Playing you.
Playing me.
Is that the guy who plays Thor?
Chris Hemsworth, yes.
Yeah,
Wait,
I
what?
disagree with that.
You guys don't see it?
No.
Who would be a realistic Geo?
Realistic Geo. Who's playing Geo? Oh, Matt
Stupid.
Damon.
I'll take
the other
that.
guy. The other guy. Not Matt Damon.
Jesse
Yeah,
Plemons
the
or
guy
whatever.
from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
The guy we affectionately call retarded Matt Damon.
Yeah.
That guy.
Oh, that's just playing me. All right,
That's
cool.
right, yeah.
I'm still sticking with Chris Hemsworth.
Well,
I don't know. I used to say Artie Lang, but Artie Lang, even I'm in better shape than Artie Lang now. I don't know who.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Okay, let's go with that.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, this is quite the cast.
Carmen, I told you before, and I meant it as a compliment. Carmen's kind of wish Sydney
Sweeney.
Sweeney.
Yeah.
Or Kaylee Cuoco. I
Yeah.
get that
Yeah.
a lot.
I'm
I'll take either one of those.
for Carmen. I'm casting Anna Faris.
Okay.
Mm.
I mean, if we couldn't get the other two,
Yeah.
if our budget didn't allow us to get the other two.
By the way, it took me 3 times. Have you seen Anna Faris, the commercial? I think it's Walmart
Yeah.
or something, whatever, and she has pink eye. It took me 3 times to even realize the reference that they were making there.
Yeah.
The Ferris Bueller. Yeah.
Carmen,
Yeah.
if if they were going to play Carmen, we had Sydney Sweeney lined up to play you. And then they come back and they're like, yeah, no, we spent all our money getting Vince Vaughn to play Galvin. So we're gonna have to go down to Ferris.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am looking at pictures for Geo. There was one good picture of Woody Harrelson.
A younger Woody Harrelson would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not mad by that.
Ed Norton from American History X. Who plays Joe then? I mean, we got it. It's Griffin Dunn.
It's Griffin.
It's
Dunn.
Griffin Dunn.
All day.
Yeah,
I mean, it
100%.
is too much like him.
It's his role of a lifetime for him.
I think you're the same age.
Yeah. They did a Battle of the Planets for our show. Remember the old school with the TV show Battle of the Planets?
Yeah.
And Joe looks just like Griffin Dunn.
Yeah. That's funny. So Father's Day is coming up. So let's take a look at the movies with fathers in it. What do you think the favorite dads from movies?
Godfather.
The best dads in movie history. Godfather?
Vito Corleone.
Yeah? You think he's in there?
No.
He's not in the top 10.
No.
No, he's not in the top 10.
Best dads in movie history. Dads. Like I always think of that to be a TV thing.
I can start you out. Number 10, Eugene Levy from American Pie series.
Okay.
Oh,
All
I
right.
put him way higher.
Yeah, he comes in number 10.
This is just movies, movie dads.
This is just movie dads.
movie dads. What about Jim Carrey?
Jim
Liar,
Carrey,
Liar.
Liar. No, not
pretty
in
good.
there. Not in there.
Chevy Chase.
Chevy
From,
Chase.
Vacation.
Yeah.
From Vacation, Clark Griswold comes in at number 2.
Ooh.
Number 2, yeah.
Who's a better dad?
Than Clark Griswold?
I got to tell you, this one's pretty good. It makes sense whenever you think of what this dad had to go through for his daughter, and you'll get number one.
For his daughter.
But there's some other ones in here if you want to go through some.
Steve Martin in there?
Steve Martin is in here for Gil Buckman from Parenthood. Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I was thinking Father of the Bride.
Well, that was Steve Martin.
Yeah.
I love
All
that
right,
movie.
what else you got?
So number 9 is John Quincy Archibald, Denzel Washington, and John Q. Public.
Oh, yeah.
Or John Q. rather. And then you have Robert De Niro from Meet the Parents, Jack Burns.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. Jack Talk Tie.
Jack Talk Tie, real good. You have Chris Gardner, Will Smith from The Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah. Oh.
Really? That's a good father?
Oh,
He was
yeah.
living in a subway bathroom.
No.
Sounds like a terrible father.
His wife left him and left him with the kid. It's such a sad movie.
This one, a very underrated movie, and if you don't watch it around Christmas time, you're missing out. Jingle All the Way, Howard Langston, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who has to get the toy for his kid.
Great movie.
Great. Sinbad, so good in that movie. Sinbad was so good in there. Number 4, Harry Stamper, Bruce Willis, Armageddon.
Yeah,
saving the world for everybody. This one, number 3, this is best dads in movie history. Number 3 is Daniel Hillard. That was the character's name.
Daniel Hillard.
There was a drive-by fruiting.
Oh, from
Robin Williams from Mrs. Doubtfire. Joe, you got number 2, Clark Griswold, Chevy Chase in the Vacation series. And number 1.
Better than Clark Griswold.
Best dad in movie history. When I say it, I think you're going to go, oh, yeah, because of everything you had to go through. Brian Mills is the character's name. Sound familiar?
No.
He has a particular set of skills.
Oh,
yeah.
Liam Neeson from Taken. Yeah.
Yes.
He goes, the whole movie is fighting people and everything to get his daughter back.
Yeah. I mean, just the fact that he took that long flight over there.
By the way, have you seen the trailer for the new Police Squad for the
yes, Naked Gun?
Naked Gun?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that looks like it's gonna be dumb funny.
Yeah, like I don't know that I'm gonna go to the movie theater to see it, but it definitely good choice for Liam
The fact
Neeson.
that he's a little girl and he
Yeah.
stands up like like he has a costume on that makes him smaller. Liam Neeson was on what was the show? It was the show with Ricky Gervais and what's his name? The little
Short one. The
short something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Whatever. But Liam Neeson was on there and he said he wanted to start doing comedy, but he played it super serious.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And he does a joke about AIDS.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't think he was so funny on there. So I think he's going to do really well.
Yeah,
on there.
he's so deadpan that it's got to be great.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Did you ever see whenever, how they do lookalikes at different, like at the hockey game or at the this and that, whatever, and they'll show a character from a TV show or movie, whatever, and then they show the person. And sometimes they show the actual person is at the game or whatever.
Yeah.
And they did that with Liam Neeson, and it was this picture from Taken, and then they go to a shot from him, and he's on the phone just staring at the camera. And I was like, oh, that's so good. Well, there you go. That is it for news.
All right, Galvin, thank you. We will take a break. Our guest, Craig Gass, is he make it to the end here?
Craig Gass is here.
Oh,
Hey!
are you sure?
Must have talked to Mike.
Positive.
All right, we'll take a break. And Craig Gass will join us in the studio next. It's the Mike Calta Show. This is 102.5 The Bone. Just approximately 24 hours late, our friend Craig Gass is here.
It's my fault. My fault.
Oh, Craig back in his
cocaine days.
cocaine flash days.
Yep.
Listen to me. I first of all, I'm like the easiest guy to deal with, and second of all, it's better, that you were able to come in another day. And then the other thing is, I get it. It's the reason why I didn't go to Metallica on Sunday was because I didn't want to get up to come and do the show on Monday. So that's why I only went on Friday. So I get 2 nights of Metallica is enough to wear you out. You're gonna need a break.
Yeah, it was just triggering for me because I'm a radio guy, and I used to have a bad cocaine problem.
Right.
And so sleeping through
By the way, add that to the list of things I don't never believe in your stories. You say you have a cocaine problem. I've never seen you drink, do drugs, or anything. I mean, you've been sober
20 years,
right?
now,
So
yeah.
so you could just be. So I could be like, yeah, dude. When I used to do heroin,
Dude,
it was bad.
that is one of my favorite things of all the crazy things that seem hard to believe.
Yeah.
living at Eddie Van Halen's house, living with Mitch Hedberg, being on the field of the Super Bowl when my team won the Super Bowl.
Deaf parents.
Deaf
parents is the one I don't believe.
That was the one that made me laugh.
Oh,
when I came in and you go, hey man, I want to ask you a question. I want you to be honest with me. And I go, yeah. And you go, is it really true that? And I didn't expect the rest of the question to be,
your family. You thought it was gonna be like you lived with Eddie Van Halen for all these years. Craig says that his parents were deaf
and sister.
Yeah, my whole family.
And that's where he learned to do such great impressions from watching TV and doing all that. Because I'm going to tell you, I'm good friends with Frank Caliendo, and I love having him on the show. And he is amazing on how he does some things. Like he really gets into that. Like when he drops down to a Morgan Freeman, and he's like, you're like, how is that coming out of that face?
Yeah.
But when you do Al Pacino and when you do Tracy Morgan, among the other ones, those two. But whether I tune into Howard and I hear Tracy Morgan on there saying some stuff and I go, what is he? And I realize it's you. I go, that's how good it is. Like for a second I get, and your Al Pacino is amazing. Like you'd fool Al Pacino.
Dude, I got a phone call from Vivendi Entertainment saying, hey, we want to talk to you about this Scarface video game that we're making.
Oh.
And so I called this guy back and he said, we're really early in just our creative stages right now, but we've been having meetings and Al recommended that we go to you to do the voice. And I go, I go, cool. And I go, and who's Al? What does Al do? And they go, Al Pacino. And I go, Al Pacino knows who I am?
Yeah.
And the guy said, you know what? I wouldn't get that excited about it because the way it came up is he said,
there's a guy. My voice has changed too much over the years. Find this guy. His name is David Grass. He's got a mole.
And I was like, well, that's not what I'm going to tell my friends. I'm going to tell my friends that, like, Al Pacino's my biggest fan.
Handpicked.
What do you think is your best?
I like doing Tracy because Tracy sounds like everybody I grew up with.
And Tracy can say anything.
Tracy, and plus, there's been so many run-ins with Tracy over the years.
Right.
And the stories were all just, the first time I met him, I used to write for, I used to be a contributing writer to Weekend Update when Colin Quinn was doing Weekend Update.
Right.
So sometimes I'd go up to the 8th floor of NBC and be there on the night of a show.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing Tracy in the hallways, and I go, Tracy, hey man, my name's Craig Gass. I'm a stand-up comedian, and I just want to tell you, dude, I think you're the funniest guy on the show. And he goes,
yeah, that's crazy. You a stand-up comedian? And I go, yeah. And he goes, what you doing next Friday? And I go, what am I doing? What? He goes, next Friday. What you doing next Friday? And I go, I don't know. What am I doing next Friday? And he goes, you're gonna be opening up for me at the New York Comedy Club. And I was like, what? Are you serious? And he goes, yeah, you come down, you open for me. And I was like, oh my God. I had nothing going on in my life back then. So I was like, oh my God. And
that really happened?
Yeah, all week long. I'm telling everybody, I'm like, I'm opening for Tracy Morgan this week. I'm opening for Tracy. And I go down and I do the show. Thank God his crowd is cool with me. The set goes over well. And then I walk off. There's still another comedian after me. So when I walk off, Tracy is waiting in the wings and he goes, what you drinking, Craig? And I go, I was drinking at the time. I go, can I have a Corona? And he goes, yeah. So how you like this? And I go, how do I like this club? And he said, no, how you like stand-up comedy? And I go, I love comedy. I'm head over heels in love with comedy. And he said, you got to be like Bruce Lee in the 6-foot kick. And I go, the what? He goes, you don't know about Bruce Lee in the 6-foot kick? They say when Bruce Lee kick you, you go back 6 feet. And I go, what? And he goes, you got to be like Bruce. You got to get, and then he got physically so close to me, his nose was touching my nose, and our lips are just like 2 inches apart, and spit is flying. And I go, what is going on? And then over the course of the next couple of years, I would relate these stories about Tracy, and everybody had their own.
Oh yeah, their own Tracy Morgan stories.
You ever had Kurt Metzger on?
Yeah.
Remind him of this story. He said that he goes, dude, I was with Tracy in a car on the West Side Highway, and at the time, Kurt was writing for the Chappelle Show,
right?
And they'd only done one season. And he said he looks at Tracy and he goes, Chappelle Show got picked up for a second season. So that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
I'll make some extra money. And he said, Tracy said, God damn, Kurt, what's wrong with you? And he slammed the brakes,
pulled the car over on the side of the West Side Highway, and he goes, "What are we in right now, Kurt? What are we in right now?" And he goes, "A car? No, we in show business, Kurt. We in show business. How many letters in the word show?" And he goes, 4. "How many letters in the word business?" 8. "Don't you forget that, Kurt." And he got back on and he goes, "What? That makes no sense. I don't know what that meant." Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah.
I had a guy when David Wells had his 40th birthday party. Okay, his wife had a party for him, and we'd pick up people from the airport to come in. So I pick up this guy, and he's this head security guy for the China Club in New York. He's the VIP security guy. So I'm driving him on the thing. We're talking. He's like, "Yeah, I was a former cop or whatever." And I do this, and I go, "Who? You ever get any celebrities in there? They get crazy?" He goes, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Tracy Morgan's easily." I go, "Brian Fellows?" Like at the time, it was just 20 years ago, or 15 years ago. He's like, "Oh yeah." He goes, "He's the last one out, screaming, standing on top of tables." I was like, "Really?" I never. Then I got to meet Tracy, and then once you meet him the first time, you realize, yeah, that's that guy.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
the guy.
I know I've told this to you before. My favorite story is when I was opening for Chappelle at Caroline's. This guy walked up to me and told me about this story. He said, "Did you hear about what happened at that party last weekend?" I go, "What party?" And he goes, "Tracy Morgan had a party, turned into an orgy." And I go, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, everybody's taking their clothes off. They're all naked. We're standing around with our suits on, and there's naked people, and they're all doing stuff. And then Tracy Morgan comes around the corner, takes off all his clothes, and just jumps in." And I go, "What? When was this?" And he goes, "Last Saturday night." And right at that moment, Tracy Morgan walks around the corner. I hadn't seen Tracy in probably a year at that point. And I go, "Tracy, I heard your party was messed up, man." And Tracy just rolled over and he just eyeballed me and he just went,
"It was crazy." It was crazy, Craig. You know what's crazy about it? When you get off on my floor, you don't even hear nothing. You don't hear nothing at all. Then you start walking towards my apartment, but you still don't hear nothing. Then you knock on my door, but you still don't hear nothing, right? And when I open the door, there's buttholes and toes everywhere." And I went, "Did you just say buttholes and toes?" And he goes, "Yeah, some of them toes were in the butthole." And he walked out of the room, and I was like, "God, that's one of the most magical things I've ever heard in my life."
That should be the name of his new special.
That is, dude. And dude, when you mentioned David Wells, did I tell you the story about the guy that stole out of David Wells' house?
No.
I don't even know if I mean, at this point, I actually said something about it to David Wells, and he said it's 100% true. You know what? I think I said it to him. Didn't David Wells visit you at your booth at the Super Bowl in Tampa?
Yes.
That's when I asked him, "Is this true?" Drummer of Seven Dust.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Morgan is a huge Yankees fan.
Yeah.
Even though he grew up in Atlanta, he's a huge Yankees fan. Him and David Wells become friends because Dave's a big...
Dave's got his drum kit and all that, yeah. Uh-oh.
You know why he has his drum kit?
No, what did Morgan steal something from him?
Morgan is at his house, and David Wells at some point is in a room where he's got his monitors. And I think he's making food or grabbing beers or something.
Right.
And it's after Morgan says, "Dude," he's looking at a collection of baseballs, and this baseball is from some significant game. And Morgan's like, "Dude, can I have this?" And he goes, "No, man, I can't go." And he goes, "Come on, dude, just like." And he goes, "No, I can't." And then David Wells goes into another room where he's getting some stuff, and he sees Morgan put the baseball in his pants and walks back down. They hang out for a little bit, and Morgan says, "All right, I got to go." And he goes, "All right." And then he walks him out to the door. And according to Morgan, David Wells said, "All right, man, hey, listen. That baseball you just stole?" And he goes, "What?" And he goes, "No, that baseball you stole?" And he goes, "I didn't steal a baseball." And he goes, No, I saw you do it." He goes, "You owe me a drum kit."
Yeah.
And he goes, "What?" And he goes, "It's okay." He goes, I saw you do it. You owe me a drum kit." That's why he has the drum kit.
That's probably about right.
And I remember Morgan telling me the story, and I was like, "That's insane." And he goes, "Yeah." And then when David Wells came over to your booth, I asked him, and he said, "Yes, it's 100% true." I also know David Wells parties.
He did. He has a small reputation for it, yes.
Okay. Morgan also had a story about how David Wells got on their bus after a Seven Dust show At 2:00 in the morning, the bus is about to leave. David Wells walks all the way to the back of the bus and he goes, I just took 2 hits of ecstasy. I'm coming on tour with you right now. He goes, oh man, we're leaving. And he goes, I'm going on tour, man. I want to hang out with you. And he goes, nah, man. Hey.
I believe it.
Hey,
I believe
Jeff.
it.
Hey,
Yeah.
Dave says he wants to go on tour with us. And the tour manager goes, oh man, yeah, David, come here. Yeah, come here. Let me take you off the bus for a second. Takes him on the bus. Goes, hey man, you got to go. Yeah, those guys in Seven Dust. Those guys in Seven Dust told me one of the greatest Lars Ulrich stories ever. That Lars Ulrich, they did a show on New Year's Eve, 1999, in Detroit, Michigan, at the Pontiac Silverdome. It was the Millennium Concert. Metallica, Ted Nugent, and Seven Dust.
Right.
And they said at the time, Clint, the guitar player, was struggling to get sober. He's sober now.
Okay.
At the time, he's struggling to get sober. And I remember Morgan said, a couple things you need to know about Clint. He's very sensitive about people touching his face.
Oh.
He doesn't like jokes about his Cherokee heritage.
Okay.
I didn't know that he was Cherokee.
Yeah.
And he was struggling to stay sober. So 3 things you need to know about Clint. Doesn't like people touching his face. Doesn't like jokes about his Cherokee heritage. And he was trying to stay sober.
Sure.
Lars Ulrich opens the door to the Seven Dust dressing room to say hello to this new band, Seven Dust. And it's just Clint sitting in a chair. Lars walks in and goes, hey, man, where's the blow, chief? Right on his face.
Oh, no.
In one move. In one move. Where's the blow, chief? Oh.
I think my favorite story you've ever told is about Lars with your family, how he was describing your family to somebody else.
Dude, that guy. Well, I have this incredible moment where I become friends with Lars, where he really was, and we prank called him, and he was so cool about it that he invited me to Denver to do a radio thing with him that was a promotion for the album Saint Anger. And then I ended up opening for Metallica a few months later, and he introduced me to his band. For those of you who don't know, my whole family's deaf, as we were talking about at the beginning of this break.
Sure.
My mom, my dad, and my sister are all completely deaf. Lars walks me into a dressing room, and it's just the other 3 members of Metallica all sitting at a small table with a security guard. And Lars walks in and goes, hey, man, this is Craig. This is the guy who does all the voices, and check it out. His whole family is retarded. I go, you're not retarded.
We talk about that during the year. We talk about that. That's one of the funniest things ever.
Deaf, dude. They're deaf. They're not retarded. They're deaf. Yeah, dude. Yeah, there's
so funny.
This weekend at the. I've never been to the Wesley Chapel location for
Side Splitters.
For Side Splitters. It's in a movie theater, right?
Yeah. It's in a multiplex movie theater, but they have their own room and their own bar and their whole deal. It's pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was actually going to tell some Metallica stories because of this Metallica weekend that we had. That whole friendship, and again, I know that years ago I told you the story, but it started with a prank call. There was a guy who used to do middays at K-Rock in New York, who was doing afternoons in St. Louis, and he said, when you get to St. Louis, come on my show. You can stay for the whole show. And when I'm driving to the station, I put the station on, and I hear that he has Lars Ulrich on the phone, and he knows it's a big deal. So he's playing no commercials, no music, and he's got no delay. And every 5th or 6th word that comes out of Lars's mouth is bad. Yeah. Is really bad. And I get to the studio. I walk in. He's still got Lars Ulrich on the phone. And I go, dude, are you going to have me on? And he goes, I can't get rid of him. I don't know. He goes, hold on. Lars, let me just cut you off. Yeah. I got that's awesome. Yeah. Okay. Lars, for those just joining the broadcast, we have Lars Ulrich on the phone from his house in San Francisco. And Lars, you're not going to believe this, but we have a couple of special guests. And he starts pointing me to the microphone. And I go, no. And he goes, Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons from Kiss are in the studio. And he goes, is that really Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons? Like, yeah, guys, say hi. Hey, Lars, this is Paul Stanley. And this is Gene Simmons from Kiss. I'm going to get right to the point, Lars. A lot of people steal from Kiss. You know it. I know it. But on the new Metallica record, I think you've gone a little too far. I'll give you a perfect example. I want you to name one song on the new Metallica record that you think is completely original. And he goes, I think all the songs are pretty original. And I said, right. But if you had to name one song, what would it be? And he goes, I guess if I had to pick one song, it'd probably be, and he gave me a song title, and I go, that's a great song, Lars, but I liked it a lot better the first time I heard it, when it was called Beth. And he goes, Beth? How do you hear Beth? No, it doesn't make any sense. And then my buddy, the radio guy, lets this conversation flow with a fake Paul Stanley, fake Gene Simmons, Lars believing it. And then my buddy goes, hey, let me just stop you guys for just 1 second. Lars, we have a talk radio station in the next room that has a movie critic that comes in every Friday that does movie reviews. And he has real movie stars that come in to promote new releases. And he has Christopher Walken in the studio. Do you mind if Christopher Walken says hi? Is that really Christopher Walken?
It is, Lars. I love Metallica because I love cocaine.
And then he starts talking. It's and all these voices talking at the same time. And then at some point, my buddy says, hey, man, Sam Kinison just walked in.
Oh, Jesus.
And I go, Lars, I don't know if you remember this, but we did cocaine in 1986, and you stole all my blood. Oh!
I forgot how good your Sam Kinison is.
There's a long pause, and when we just hear, didn't that guy die like 15 years ago? We go, yeah, it's really weird. Yeah.
Tell me, let me, one of the greatest things, and I heard you tell this on Stern one time, and I don't know how true this is. Was it, what's his name from CNN that believed that you were
Anderson Cooper?
Anderson Cooper.
Yeah.
Didn't Anderson Cooper believe that? Didn't you call him as
Pacino
Al
from
Pacino
a
or
boat
something like that?
or something?
Oh, no, it was Sean Hannity.
Oh, it was Hannity?
It was Sean Hannity. Yeah, we called Sean Hannity, a radio station in Atlanta. One of the guys at the morning show in Atlanta used to work with Sean Hannity in radio. And dude, that morning, we got a bunch of people on the phone for Al Pacino. Like Jay Leno picked up the phone right away for Al Pacino. Donald Trump picked up the phone for Al Pacino.
Really?
And then we called Sean Hannity, but we called an assistant, and this woman said, Sean is on vacation. He's on a boat.
Right.
He will not take any calls. And they go, okay, well, can we just put Mr. Pacino on for a second? I go,
If can you tell Sean it's very important? I got to talk.
and she goes, okay, you know what? Okay, here's his cell phone number.
Oh,
And she
really?
gave us the number. I said, give him 5 minutes and then call him. And when Hannity picked up the phone, I talked, and he goes, uh-huh. Uh-huh. And then he paused and said, I got to be honest with you. When I heard that you were calling, I thought this was a prank. But, sir, I am a huge fan of yours. And he absolutely bought it. And we got it recorded. I got to get that audio of that.
Oh,
but,
that's so great.
yeah, it was the guys who used to do the morning show when Fran used to do the morning show in Atlanta? And, but yeah, dude, it's crazy how many people will buy it when.
I don't, do you ever do this? Like, I have one audience member that I care about, and that's me, Mike Calta. When I'm alone, I want to entertain myself as much as I can. So I must get 10 phone calls a day that are solicitors, and if I'm alone, I'll talk to them. And I don't even get mad. I go, yeah, what do you got?
Really?
Yeah, like I'm like, oh, what are you selling? Yeah, because sometimes I'm just in the mood, and I'll just talk, you know. But you know, like this woman called me the other day, and I go, let me ask you a question. I go, I'm not mad. You guys call me every day, and every day you want to talk to my mother, and they're like, yeah, and I'm like, she's been dead for 2 years. What do you want me to do? And the lady's like, I'm so sorry. I go, yeah, I know you didn't do it on purpose, but what point do you think I just talk to these people, but I'm only doing it just to entertain myself. You know what I mean? So if I was you, I would spend so much time just making prank phone calls for myself.
Yeah.
I would be just trying to make myself laugh. And right now, I'd be calling LA, and I'd be like, "Hey, it's Tracy Morgan.
Yeah.
Stop all the violence." You know, I would just do whatever I can right in the middle of everything.
I've done that before, where I've done things just for myself, and I wish I had recorded. Like the first time I ever met Tom Arnold, it was on the phone, and it was a prank call. It was I was an open micer back then. This is the early '90s, and another comedian at the open mics worked at a nice hotel in downtown Seattle, and he said, "Hey man, you guys know that Planet Hollywood opening that's happening? All the stars are at my hotel." And I go, "Yeah, like who?" And he goes, "Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tom Arnold. And I go, Tom Arnold, is that your hotel? And he goes, yeah, the big one. Tom Arnold had just killed it in 9 months and True Lies. He was hilarious. And when I get home that night, I looked up the phone number for the Hilton, and I said, hi, Tom Arnold, please. And this lady goes, okay, just one moment. And she put me through. I didn't record it. I was working in radio at the time.
Right.
I was working for Bob Rivers, Twisted Radio, and phone picks up, and I hear, hello. And I go, Tom, it's Sam Kinison. Sam Kinison had been dead for 5 years, and Tom Arnold goes, hey, buddy, how you been? It's good to talk to you.
Right in.
Tom, I need your help in the afterlife. Whatever you need, buddy, just tell me what you need. And I go, well, what I need is some cocaine. And I want to give you instructions, so I want you to follow me. First of all, I need you to front me the cash because I don't have any cash. And then secondly, and this is where it gets tricky, I want you to purchase the cocaine. I want you to get on a plane, and I want you to fly back to Los Angeles. And when you get back to Los Angeles, I want you to drive to Jerry Lewis's house. And when you get to Jerry Lewis's house, knock on his door. And when he opens the door, I want you to take the cocaine and put it in the small pocket of his pants, and I'll have it when he gets here in 3 weeks. Oh! And then I stopped and I said, I'm sorry, Tom, my name's Craig Gass. I'm a stand-up comedian, dude. I am a huge fan of yours. And he goes, man, that impression is so good. I need to call my sponsor right now. That's how good that is. What is your name? And I said, it's Craig Gass. And he goes, do you have like a tape or something I can look at? And I said, yeah, dude, I'll drop off the tape. And he called me like a week later and said, hey, man, I think you're really funny. If you ever need anything, here's my phone number, here's my email address. Wow. And then I never called him.
Yeah. I don't know what Tom Arnold really would have done for you, but I like Tom. He's a good dude. And he's been on the show a bunch of times, and he's always one of those guys that afterwards you're like, he's just such a likable guy. He's a nice guy. Yeah.
And one of the most honest dudes on the planet.
I saw a video the other day on Instagram of him on a podcast recently telling a story. You said 9 months. That was the movie he did with Hugh Grant, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said him and Hugh Grant became inseparable best friends after that. And they went to a party, and he's like, Hugh Grant's the biggest star in the world at the time. I'm doing okay because I got True Lies and 9 months. And at the party, we run into Madonna. And Madonna says there's an after party. And then at the after party, she's like, of course, her and Hugh Grant are all over each other. And Madonna says, you guys want to come up to my suite? He's like, so we go up to the suite. And on the way up, I said, listen, Hugh, I'll back out. I'll go out. And he goes, no. And he goes, I don't want to ruin this. And he goes, you're going to watch me bang Madonna.
No way.
He goes, so we go upstairs. We're smash drunk. Madonna says she's going to go in another room and change. He goes, and then while she's changing and she's taking forever, we notice that there's just all this Louis Vuitton luggage. And there's a big cake, and it is like we're cutting pieces of the cake and eating the cake, and then we decide to go through her luggage, and she travels with her own silverware, and we're stealing spoons. He goes, and at one point she comes out, and I'm standing there, and I got a piece of cake in my hand, spoons in my pocket, and she goes, what are you assholes doing? And they were like, and she kicked them out. She kicked them both out of the room. And Tom Arnold's like, I'm sorry you never get to bang Madonna. And he goes, Tom, everybody's banged Madonna. We have her silverware. She got mad because the cake was for her brother's birthday. It was a surprise, and they were bringing the brother up to the room, and Tom Arnold ruined it by eating the cake. I thought that was so much better story than banging Madonna.
Oh my God. He is bothered by what I did with the impression of him because, and I've done it with you guys at the Super Bowl, and I'll just,
we almost set Steve-O almost had a heart attack.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah.
And it actually started with Steve-O, and then I started turning Tom Arnold into a character, and I do it sometimes on Howard's show. And the thing they won't let me do that I think is a really funny angle is that Tom Arnold, because I go to the Super Bowl every year, and friends of mine will be broadcasting Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. There's nobody in the media center.
Empty,
you guys know. You guys were there this year, and so my friends who work in sports radio will say, hey, can you join us and pretend to be somebody famous? So it sounds cool back in Des Moines. And the only remotely sports guy I can do an impression of is Tom Arnold. And I'll go full-blown Tom Arnold and go, hey, guys, it's exciting to be here at the Super Bowl. And a lot of famous people are coming into town. I was actually at a Cocaine Anonymous meeting last night with Willie Randolph and Brett Favre. And Brett's a big cokehead. And then I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but his sponsor is Marv Albert. Marv's addicted to upskirt porn. Again, I shouldn't say that out loud. And then and every year the internet will attack the real Tom Arnold and go, dude, it's supposed to be anonymous. What's wrong with you?
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then when I do it on Howard, I've written out ideas where I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if Tom Arnold would just be just kind of confused? Like I was I went and performed for the troops overseas, and I was at a Narcotics Anonymous meeting with the Taliban and a guy named Kareem Abdul. You know, maybe he was the basketball player. I'm not sure. Like he just confused who he saw at the NA meetings. Yeah. But the real Tom Arnold doesn't like that I do that, and he will fight every single person on the internet and go, did you notice that Sam Kinison was also on the air? And that guy's been dead for 30 years, you idiot. That wasn't me. That's a comedian named Craig Gass. I wish
those
he would
guys
stop.
are so serious. Steve-O was very upset when we did that to him in the studio. He was like, because you're on the phone talking about relapsing as Tom Arnold, and Steve-O is in the studio with us, and Steve-O's looking at me going, like appealing to me as a bro, going, "Hey man, cut it out." And I know it's a joke, so I'm like, "Nope, ramp it up." You know, I thought that was going to ruin our relationship.
Dude, 2 of the craziest prank calls I've ever made was on your show. The other one was Bert.
What would he? Oh, it was Bert Tracy Morgan. What
was Tracy Morgan? There was this thing where Bert would tell a story about Tracy Morgan,
right.
But he was afraid of the story getting out there. And then
Jay Moore started telling the story.
Jay Moore started telling the story, and then Jay Moore started putting himself in the story, and so I was in studio with you. Bert calls in to promote a gig that he's doing in like a week. And you said, hey, man, Tracy Morgan is here. And I go,
what's up, Bert? I'm mad at you. I'm going to kick your ass next time I see you.
And he's like, that's a really good, I don't know why it sounds like Tom Arnold right now.
Yeah.
That's a really good Tracy Morgan impression. I go, no, it's Tracy Morgan. And you go, yeah, Bert, it's really Tracy Morgan. And we just kept pushing it. And I said, you know how you never see, I was trying to think of like, who do we know that I could say to make it more real?
Right. I remember you. Yeah.
And I said the name of a comedian, and I can picture the guy's face right now.
Was it Tony Woods?
It wasn't Tony Woods.
No, it was a black guy.
It was a black guy. And it was, and I said, you know why you haven't seen that dude?
Right.
I killed him, bro.
Yeah.
I killed him. What I didn't know is that guy had just passed away. And there was a long pause, and Bert goes, okay, I'm really sorry about I didn't really mean to. And he started apologizing on the air, and then we did the big reveal, and I called Bert and said, dude, I am so sorry. And I still have the voicemail from Bert saying, don't apologize. He's like, you scared me. That was great radio. Don't ever apologize for doing something funny.
That's funny.
Yeah, dude.
That's great.
That was just, I don't know why, but there's been some like benchmark moments that I've had here
on this show.
Scaring people.
Craig Gass is here. Let us take a quick break so we don't get too late, and we'll be back. Craig's going to be in town. Yeah, he's going to be at Side Splitters Wesley Chapel this weekend, right?
This weekend, Thursday through Saturday. And I am putting out a comedy special in 2 months. I'm putting out 2 comedy specials this year. The first one is me just making fun of Kiss for an hour. That's the whole show. That's the entire show. So you're going to hear at the end of the show this weekend a piece I've been working on called I Think Gene Simmons is Going to Kill Me.
Oh, good. So, okay. All right, good. All right, we'll be back more with Craig Gass. It's the Mike Calta Show. This is 102.5 The Bone. I don't know. I have to say is definitely on the list. Like there's people we kind of know from the show over the years. Like, oh, yeah, we've had you on the show. And then there's people we're friends with. You're definitely in the friends list of the category.
Thank God. I've been insecure about that.
But I'm saying that at the same time, Craig has some of the most amazing stories and moments in his life, none of which I know are true. So I'm just not saying that they're lies. I'm just saying that the best part is I don't really know what's true and what's not, and I don't really feel like I want to know. I got to tell you, all your things they all seem to pan out. I'm not sure.
I was so scared. Last week, I texted Mike and I said, I go, hey, dude, you going to Metallica on Friday? And he goes,
Why did you say it like Lars?
dude, are you going to Metallica with Craig and his whole retarded family? and Mike goes, nah, too crowded. And
Too
I
many
go,
people.
Too many people. And I go, it's not crowded in the Snake Pit. If you want to get hooked up. And he goes, are you serious? And I go, yeah, dude, bring a friend. Felt like the cool guy.
Yeah.
I have a friendship with Lars, which I really didn't maintain over the years, but I know a bunch of people in Metallica, and I'm like, yeah, I'll hook it up. And Mike goes, dude, hold on. Give me a couple minutes. And he's like, yeah, dude, I'm in. And I'm like, cool. I start texting.
So now let me tell you real quick. So my wife my wife and I were going to Winter Haven, Florida, which is between here and Orlando, and it's a know-nothing town. Sorry, Winter Haven. But my daughter has a volleyball tournament.
Okay.
I don't want to go. And we had to get a hotel and spend the night, and then I got to go watch 19 of the worst volleyball games ever in my life. So it's awful. It's absolutely awful. And I don't want to go. So I have to gauge her on whether or not if I don't go to Winter Haven, if she's going to be furious or not. And she was like, no, I don't care. I have to go either way. And then plus, yeah, go to Metallica. Like, she was so cool about it. So I was like, then I was like, yeah, all right, I'm in. I'm 100% in. The problem also is that if it's 2 nights, I can't go on Sunday night. I got to get up too early in the morning on Monday.
Right.
But I really do want to go. And then I'm starting to get that FOMO feeling like it's coming up and I'm not sure I'm going or whatever. So once you hit me up, I was feeling good about it.
But what I hit you up with and what I said I could do was the coolest thing ever.
Yes.
And then I started contacting all my friends with Metallica who all started shutting me down.
Oh, no.
And everyone kept telling me, dude, Snake Pit, the fire marshal has cut our Snake Pit in half.
Yeah.
They won't allow us to have.
Which, thank God for the fire marshal, because it was wonderful in there.
Well, yeah. Well, but along the way, I'm sitting there going, all the way up until Friday afternoon, Friday, maybe even Friday early evening. I didn't even know if I could pull it off.
Yeah.
And so I'm worried about coming in the studio because I'm not going to be able to pull off what I said I was going to pull off. And all I pictured was, number one, actually getting, this is where my head went. Hey, dude, yeah, it's a busy week. We're not going to be able to have you on. Like, and then I was going to listen to the show and you're going to be like, Craig's full of it. He lied. He said he was going to get me until there's that whole aspect of it too. You don't even believe that my family's real.
Right.
So it's like,
right.
So if I don't come,
just another thing.
Yeah.
If I don't come through with this, everything's over. My relationship with you is over. So Friday.
At one point, you did say, "I have not heard from Craig yet."
I did. Because
it's open ended.
So everybody calls me an optimistic liar because I say like, "Hey, Craig, I'm going to try and come to your show on Friday." It's not that I don't want to,
right?
But they know there's no way I'm going, even though I say I want to go,
right?
So when I said I'm going to Metallica, they were like, "What is the percentage that you're really going to go?" And I was like, at one point, I was like at 80%. And then the next day, I was like, I don't know, I hadn't heard from Craig yet, so we're down to like 65%. No, I'm not backing out, but my likelihood was dropping down percentage-wise. But I was never get mad.
You know what's funny is now I'm going back through our text messages,
right?
And there was one day when we didn't talk, and you just said, "Hey, what's the latest?"
Yeah, I was just checking.
Yeah, just checking. Just want to see what's going on. And I'm like, well, I'm being told, and I kept giving you updates.
Yeah.
I'm being told that the Snake Pit has been cut in half, but we are officially in. I have tickets and I have backstage passes.
Right.
Actually, I wasn't even sure if I had backstage passes that point.
I don't know.
So, but then eventually, it all worked out.
Yeah.
I got passes. Friend of mine that runs lights for Metallica, he sits above the stage, and he said, "Bring your buddy. We'll hang out at my lighting design thing," and so we hung out with him and watched him.
That was pretty cool.
That
was really cool.
That was really cool. And then
talk to him and
spill a drink on it. Hey, what's going on? Sploosh.
The whole stadium just goes dark.
He had been there since Tuesday, and I was telling them how they sent the steel team in first to build the thing out, and then he comes in and he spends the night in the stadium. It was pretty interesting to see all that stuff.
Yeah, and then we walked down to go into the Snake Pit, and I just posted the video, and I was like, "Is this okay to post this right now?"
Yeah.
And you go, "Yeah, go ahead." But I have the video of us in the Snake Pit, and I tried to just get a shot of the top of Mike's head, and Mike is looking at Rob Trujillo and Kirk Hammett standing like 5 feet above your head.
I mean, I don't even know if it was 5 feet. I mean, I could have reached up and grabbed their ankles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were right there. I said to my wife, I go, at one point, we were watching from the lighting area, and that was good. I mean, we were watching the whole show. It was great. I go, and then the next point, I'm able to identify moles on James's face. Like that's how close we were. Like I could see he missed a spot shaving. Like it's unreal. Because at one point I talked to Lars from the floor.
Yeah.
When they had that little kid that they lifted up, and Lars was like, "Where's the kid?" And I go, "Right here." And he goes, "Is that him?" And I go, "Yeah, that's him." Like I'm talking to Lars right now. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was the video. I just posted the video. It's at Craig Gass Comedy. You can see the video of Metallica standing on top of Mike's
and
head.
my bald head. I look so bald. I didn't know that was my head at first when I saw it. Yeah, I was like,
You
"Holy
don't see
cow."
that angle.
Yeah.
Check out that unflattering angle at Craig Gass Comedy with 2 S's. By the way, the Make-A-Wish thing, I remember the first time when I first started to become friends with Lars, I went to a show in Denver, and in the middle of the show, his assistant found me and said, "Hey, Lars wants you to come back to his drum kit." So we walk. It wasn't the stage they have now. It was a traditional stage at one end of the stadium.
Right.
And go up to the stage, and behind his drum kit was a bar. It was a bar set up with glass doors that were tinted so you couldn't see into the bar, but we could see out. And I'm standing up there looking inside to the stadium of 60,000 people where the Broncos play, when a kid walked up next to me with his family, and the kid looked like a special needs kid.
Right.
And during a break in the show, Lars comes into the bar and he goes, "Hey, man, how's the retarded family?" No, he goes, "Hey, man, what's up? You having fun?" And he goes, "Are you Tim? Are you Tim? Hey, Tim, I heard you're a drummer. You want to play some drums for Metallica tonight? Come on, Tim." And he brought this kid up onto his drum kit and then held his arms. And he goes, "Get ready. Here we go. You ready?" He goes, "Pop, pop, 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 da, 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 da." And he held the kid's arms up. 60,000 people go, and the kid is holding his drumsticks, and I was like, "Oh my God."
That's pretty awesome.
And a week later, I talked to Steve, who was Lars's assistant, and I said, "Dude, I meant to ask you that there was a kid who came into that area that Lars brought on stage. Is that a Make-A-Wish kid?" He goes, "Oh yeah. We actually had to stop doing that." And I said, "Stop doing Make-A-Wish?" And he goes, "We've been doing that the whole tour, where every city." We always do Make-A-Wish meet and greets. And Lars started doing a thing at the beginning of this tour where he would grab one kid and go, "Hey, do you play drums? You want to come up and play drums?" And he would do it at every city. Word started getting out to other Make-A-Wish families. And when they'd come into the meet and greet, it was an immediate crush of like, "Hey, Lars, this is my son.
Play drums.
I want him to be the one to play drums." And it's like, "Oh, yeah, man, yeah, sure." And then it just became it started to become a competition.
Yeah.
And then people going, "Hey, but can my kid play one song?" And it's like, oh man,
I know. How do you say no to it?
Yeah, it starts out as such a organic thing,
right,
and then turn into something.
I don't know how they do it, but I do. Like John Cena lives here, and John Cena is the #1 celebrity for Make-A-Wish. He's done more than anybody else. And the horrible thing though is that John Cena like does these things and then has to take that with him. He has to leave knowing, and then he'll probably hear about it in 3 months that kid died. You know what I mean? He's going to have to hear about it. And I don't know that I could do that. I really don't. My wife used to work in a field where she dealt with a lot of abused kids, and she'd come home and she'd be all wound up and she'd be telling me these stories. And I looked at her and I go, "You got to stop. You got to stop telling me, because I'm gonna end up out there killing these kids' parents and going crazy because it's getting me all frustrated." So I don't know. Listen, I am. I'm not even going to lie and say that I'm coming out to the shows this weekend. I'm not saying that doesn't mean I won't come. I'm just not going to say that I'm coming. I'd like to stop by because I haven't seen you do stand up and in a long time. Well, maybe ever. I don't think I've ever gone to a club to do this show. Yeah, but I also haven't been up to the Wesley Chapel, and I think that might be a fun time.
Yeah, I keep hearing it's a great room. I love what I'm hearing about the setup over there.
Yeah,
and I'm excited to check the place out. I do want to comment on something that you talked about before I walked in the studio. You guys were talking about this crazy. Was that a local story about the guy from Saudi Arabia who
at the strip club?
Yeah. He called the cops and said, "Hey, I just wanted to call because this woman won't have sex."
He did not get his sex. He paid $300.
I gave the stripper $300 and she wasn't have sex with me.
Cops is my favorite TV show of all time.
Right.
And I can point to that. Reminded me of, there's episodes that you'll see where people will flag down the cops and go, "Excuse me, officer. Yeah, I gave this person $20 for crack cocaine, and they
Yeah.
didn't give me it. And it's like,
Yeah.
you did what?
Yeah.
I gave $20 crack cocaine. Okay, so let me just want to be clear. You're trying to purchase crack cocaine. That is correct. But they didn't give me crack cocaine. They go, okay, put your hands behind your back. Like, what?
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
shocked when that happens. Favorite episode of Cops I can point to as the hardest I've ever laughed in my life.
Okay.
And I can say that because I had a physical reaction that I didn't know was possible. The episode was this officer, it opens up with an officer in a patrol car, and he goes, we're responding to a domestic that apparently is taking place in this field over here. So it's already hilarious.
Right.
They can't afford a house to fight in. They're fighting in a big
yeah.
open field. Cop gets out, pulls out his flashlight, and he goes, hey, what's going on over there? Couple turns around. The woman, her mouth is covered in blood. Top row of teeth are missing. Bottom row of teeth are cracked.
Okay.
This guy clearly just assaulted this
Right.
woman. And the cop goes, all right, what's going on here? The woman turns around and starts telling exactly what's going on. When the guy jumps in on camera and goes, wait, hold up. You better tell him the truth. I will knock you out. Like on camera. And the cop goes, whoa. He goes, wait, here, ma'am, you sit on the hood of my car. All right, sir. You're so eager to tell me your side of the story. What's going on here? And the guy goes,
Look, I ain't gonna lie. Because I push her. Okay? I push her. So what? I push her. But then she assaulted me.
and the cop goes, she assaulted you. And he goes, she assaulted me. And the cop goes, with what? And he goes, her face, and I farted. I laughed so hard. I farted. I didn't even know that was possible to laugh hard.
She headbutted him.
Was like that was like the most healthy laugh I've ever had in my life. Second most favorite episode of Cops, and I've actually talked about this whenever I do press in Indianapolis, to do shows in Indianapolis. I have said during TV appearances there, sir, if that was you, I'm a huge fan. And I want to meet you. I would love to invite you. I'll give you as many tickets as you want to my comedy shows this weekend. It was an episode, Indianapolis. There was a robbery at a strip mall. The cops pulled behind this strip mall, and there's a white guy, tall, slanky, goofy-looking guy,
right,
sitting on the curb crying. And the cop pulls up and goes, "Sir, are you the one who called about the robbery?" And he goes, "Yeah, it was me." And he goes, "All right, just tell me what happened." And he goes, "I was locking up for work, and this gentleman came up to me, and he said, and forgive my language, but he said, 'Give me your goddamn money.'" That's what he says. And I said, "Sir, I don't want no problems with you." And then that gentleman over there, he grabbed me from behind. They panned over. There's a dude in the parking lot laying, like, you know those concrete slabs that you bump your tires against in a parking lot?
Yeah.
He's in between two of them, and he's covered in blood. And he goes, "That guy grabbed me from behind. I'm a 5th degree black belt, okay?" And as soon as he touched me, and they go, "Sir, what happened?" He goes, "Basically, I kicked the crap out of everybody. I didn't want to. I feel bad. And they go, "Sir, are you okay?" And he goes, "I'm fine. I'm going to need some new shoes." They pan down to his sneakers.
Blood.
Dude, every time he shifts his body weight from his left foot to the right foot, his sneakers are squishing out blood. And I remember being on the edge of the bed watching it, and I had a glass of chocolate milk, and I looked at my girlfriend and I go, "Babe, are you watching this guy?" And she goes, "I'm reading." And I was like,
"You're missing the best
like,
kung fu ever."
like, come on, man. I want to see a spinoff of this guy. This guy, like, he is just a perfect human being. All he wants to do is just live his life. But if you mess with him, he'll hospitalize you. And then he'll feel terrible.
Then he'll feel so sad about it.
He'll show up at the hospital with flowers and he'll feel terrible about it.
You know, we punched Carmen one time so hard she farted.
Yeah.
It's true.
Is that true?
Yeah, we used to do
Yeah.
football punches where we'd have the winner would punch the loser for every win they have over them on our football picks. And Carmen lost and she went to get punched and somebody punched her and hit her so hard she farted.
John Brennan
John
did.
Brennan, yeah,
And
our
he,
producer.
yeah, he
Audible
punched it out
on
of
the
me.
air?
No, you couldn't hear it, but
yeah, but then you
could
kind of smell it right away.
Oh.
I think it was you. Did you say? Yeah.
Because I was standing next to her and I go, "Oh, did you just fart?" And she was like, "Yeah," when he hit me.
John punched the fart out of her.
I had said a few years ago that a really interesting segment would be to just read Carmen's DMs. And I remember you saying that Carmen actually gets like, I think professional athletes or like.
So, oh yeah, somebody. I for years I wanted to do a coffee table book called "Get a Load of D's," and it was just all the D pics that Carmen gets sent, unsolicited D pics.
You gave me a title that I took, which is I have two podcasts. One is with Chris Kale from Five Finger Death Punch, which is called Beardo and Weirdo, and then there's a storytelling podcast where, because of conversations we've had, where you don't believe what I'm telling you.
Yes.
I am retelling all these stories about living at Eddie Van Halen's house, being invited to NASA, being on the field of the Super Bowl, and I'm doing it with all the witnesses who were there.
Oh, that's great.
And you gave me the title. You said you should call it "I Swear This Is True." And that's what I call it. It's called "I Swear This Is True." And I'm like 3 episodes in, and I'm dropping the 4th one this week with hanging out at the World Series when Bill Murray showed up behind me when the Cubs were.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I always tell my kids, if I were to die suddenly, know that I lived the greatest life ever. Like, I've done things where, I mean, I don't know, I'd want to write it in a book because I don't know that other people would care, but I could sit there and just think about all the things I did in my life. I've had a hell of a life, you know?
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, so when you tell some of these stories, I mean, I know that they're true, but it's just hard to believe all these things.
Yeah, and you're also, the way you handle yourself makes me confident that when I do introduce you to Pearl Jam, that you're going to be able to handle it well.
Yeah.
Because I had, there was that one night when Mike and I were both at the Pearl Jam show at Wrigley Field, and I came off the stage and I gave him set lists and the guitar picks. And then that night, I had a friend of mine, Lou, who used to work with Brewer on his show, now works with Jay Okerson and Bobby on their show. And Lou is the biggest Pearl Jam fan in the world. And he goes, "Man, can you get me to..." And I go, "Yeah, man, you know what? Let's do it for that show. I'll bring you on stage." And he's cool. He's handling it until Mike McCready's wife, Ashley, walks over. And I go, "Hey," "this is my friend Lou, by the way. And Lou, this is Ashley. This is Mike McCready's wife." And she goes, "Hey, Lou." And he goes, "I love your husband so much. I have a necklace that I made from..." And I was looking at him going,
"This is Black Lou?
What are you doing?" "Not Black Lou. No, this is White Lou." And I go, "What are you doing, dude? What are you doing?" And he goes, "I caught this from Mike once and I made it into a necklace." And she goes, "Oh," and he goes, "I love your husband so much." And she just goes, "I love him too. Good to see you, Craig." And all I can think is like, we're about to get thrown off the stage. We're about to get thrown off the stage. I know that when this moment happens, you're not only going to be cool about it, you're going to wait till... What I usually do is I wait till after it's over, then I freak out.
Yeah, I'm not a freak out kind of guy. I've been in some situations where I was like, oh boy, I feel like I could freak out. I was in the George Steinbrenner suite at Yankee Stadium, and the entire cast of The Sopranos came in, and I was like, "This is But there was one time where I thought I might have died, and this was my heaven. Like, everything that I wanted to do was all in the same room. You know what I mean? Like, had there been any large-breasted women there, I would be like, "This, we've now crossed the line." But being that it was all dudes, yeah, I mean, like, I've been in some situations where. So one time, this is the best. I'm at the Late Show with David Letterman, okay? The Stengel brothers are friends of mine. I go to visit them. I watch a taping of the show, and then I go upstairs to the offices, and I hang out with them. Coolest thing ever. I go to leave. I walk out of the building. The minute I walk out and I make a left down Broadway, my phone rings. It's Big Pussy from The Sopranos. "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm actually in New York right now." "Where are you at?" "I'm in New York. I just filmed the TV commercial. We're going to dinner. Come meet us for dinner." I was like, "Okay." Gives me the address. I show up, and it's like him and 40% of the cast of The Sopranos, the guys that like background guys like Carlo and all these other guys that is Big Pussy is the main guy at the dinner. They all shot a TV commercial for an alarm company about robbing houses and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they all went out to celebrate. The director took them all out to dinner. So now I'm eating it, and they're all telling me these stories about how they got, like, the one guy, how he got the job in Goodfellas and how the other guy. And I'm like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. Yeah. So I got stories. I got things that have gone down where make me go realize this is one hell of a life. But yeah.
And have you ever had a moment like that where you're in a really cool spot and then you ruined it because you tried to cross up?
I am the last one to ruin. I will sit there with my mouth shut until I will not be that guy
and just take it all in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do the same thing when I'm in situations like that. I just kind of try to read back. But every once in a while.
When I was a kid, when I was 13 years old, I got my first job working in a bakery. Andrew's Bake Shop in Staten Island. And my mother grew up with Andrew. So it was my Uncle John, Andrew, his brother, and a couple other guys, and me, and I'm 13. And my mother gave me the best advice before I got to work. She said, listen to me. She's like, these are all guys that have grew up together and know each other and are going to be bonding with each other and talking. She's like, don't involve yourself in their conversation.
Wow,
she's like, she's like, let them be men and you do your thing over here. Just keep your mouth shut. And I was like, all right.
It's funny because when you describe, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but when you describe that that moment of being around those guys and being invited by Big Pussy, and then it's all those guys. The night that I found out about the Tracy Morgan orgy, Tracy, the punchline to me is the buttholes and toes.
Yeah.
So I always stop right there with the story. But the next stop in the story is that Tracy said, I'm having a party tonight. You come to my party, it's going to get crazy. And he goes, I'm at this hotel, come up to the penthouse. And I go, okay. And this is like 2001. No, it was at 2000. I just got my first camera phone.
Right.
I remember thinking like, oh my God, I think I got invited to an orgy and I have a camera phone. Like I'm going to take pictures of this orgy. And I remember I went into the green room and I saw Chappelle and I go, Dave, Tracy Morgan invited to his party tonight. I think it's going to be an orgy. And Chappelle goes, that's cool, man. Wait, did you say Tracy Morgan? You know that guy's crazy, right? And I go, yeah, but I think it's going to be an orgy, and I'm going to go. So I go to the hotel, and then as I'm getting into the hotel, I'm realizing, wait a minute, how am I going to get to the penthouse? Because you usually have to have a special key.
Right.
And again, the elevator, I push PH, and it just lights up, and it starts going up, and I'm like, oh my God, the door opens up. It's a bar. The penthouse is just a bar.
Oh.
And Tracy Morgan, by the way, got thrown out of Caroline's that night. And so the guy he got thrown out of Caroline's is with him at the bar, and it's just the two of them. And I go, hey, and Tracy goes, hey, you made it to my party. And I go, what? And
just no buttholes and toes, just buttholes.
But there's moments where I'm thinking in a moment, don't ruin this. Just let it happen. Let it happen. And then sometimes someone will try to lead me down a path that I now know to not go down. Because like when people go, hey, do impressions for us. And I go, this situation, it's not, I was running out of a Guns N' Roses concert. They were starting to play, what's the last song they always play? Paradise City is the last song. And I start running out to get out to the car so I can bail. I'm running backstage. I have copies of my last comedy special that I'm handing out to people. Hey, put this on your bus, put this on your bus. And I walk by this room that says Lenny Kravitz dressing room. And the door is wide open and there's a bunch of people in there partying. And I'm like, you know what? I knock on the door and I go, hey, sorry to bother you guys. My name's Craig Gass. I'm a stand-up comedian. I wanted to give you some copies of my comedy special. And they go, you're a comedian? Hey, get in here, man. Hey, tell us some jokes. And I go, nah, man, I'm not going to. But I'm going to put this comedy special right here. And you guys put this on your buses. And I'm usually funny. You hear me on Howard. I've done voices on Family Guy. And you guys are going to love it. He goes, no, man, come on, tell us some jokes. And I go, I'm mostly known for doing impressions. He goes, who's your best impression? I go, probably Tracy Morgan. And he goes, do some Tracy Morgan. And I go, all right. And he goes, wait. Shh. Hey, this guy's a comedian. He's going to tell some jokes. And now a room full of black people that have not been told what this guy is about to do is an impression of Tracy Morgan. Start hearing a white guy doing a black voice. And it was silence, complete silence. And I went, all right, man. Well, enjoy the comedy special. And there was a stack of comedy special DVDs that was on the corner of a table, and there was a garbage can right next to the table. And I was like, I know as I'm going to my car, they're just like, yeah, man, that guy. You got to read the room, man. You got to read the room. But yeah.
All right, listen, go see Craig Gass. Is going to be at Side Splitters Wesley Chapel this weekend, 960-1197 or sidesplitterscomedy.com. You can buy your tickets in advance. Go see him. If you haven't been there, great room in Wesley Chapel. Maybe I'll see you this weekend.
You should, because there's going to be at least on one of the shows there's somebody I want to connect you with.
All right, good. Great to see you, buddy. Thank
Great to
you.
see you, too.
Thank you so much for the Metallica hookup. I had a great time. I really
Check
it was
out
so
that
worth going.
video of the top of Calta's head with Metallica standing above Mike on my Instagram at Craig Gass Comedy, at Craig Gass Comedy with 2 S's.
It's up there. Craig, thank you, buddy. We'll take a quick break. Ask the Dom is in the studio. If you got a question for Dom, get on the phone lines now, 800-771-1025. Ask the Dom is next on 1025 The Bone. Ask the Dom is in the studio with us. If you want to get through and speak to Dom, 800-771-1025 at the phone numbers. Dom, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Good morning. Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, back at you.
Feeling good. Getting ready for tonight's championship game. We won the playoffs last week.
Oh, brother, you realize you're not in the Stanley Cup, right?
I am in the Stanley Cup of Rec League. We are playing the team that we beat in the last season, so it's like a repeat of the Oilers Panthers.
Oh, same. You guys are basically the same.
It's the same. It's the same, Calvin. It does get chippy, so I've stretched.
What are you, Connor McDavid out there? Who are you?
I'm Connor McDavid.
Oh,
Connor asked Dom.
All right, if you want to get through to Dom, right, get on the phone lines right now. They are wide open, 800-771-1025. Let's start with Elaine. Elaine, good morning. You're on with Ask the Dom. What do you got?
Yes, Dom. This is Ellen from Sarasota.
Ellen, sorry.
My son was in a car wreck in March. He was in Bradenton, and he was at a red light, and a tow truck went over the median and smashed into him, totaled his truck and 6 other cars. He hired Morgan & Morgan, but Morgan & Morgan won't take the case because they found out that the tow truck didn't have insurance.
Well, that's interesting because usually tow trucks are commercial policy. Now, some of them are privately owned, so they may not be with a corporate entity, but a lot of times it's a corporate policy or commercial policy. But if John's office did their due diligence, and I'm sure they did, then they confirmed that there was no BI insurance, bodily injury insurance, which means then you pivot over to your son's policy. He must not have had UM, which is uninsured motorist coverage. And those are the two areas of the policy that lawyers that do what I do look for. Lawyers don't want to sue private individuals because there's no guarantee of recovery even if you get a judgment. And we've talked about that numerous times on the show. In fact, your question is actually spot on for tomorrow night's show. In studio tomorrow with me is my insurance agent with State Farm. So Joe's coming in to talk about insurance coverage in the state of Florida, PIP, personal injury protection, no-fault insurance, BI, UM, along with a single law group. So tomorrow night's show is really going to be the benefit of folks listening that have this exact issue in question that you're presented with your son. Now, he still has PIP coverage, personal injury protection coverage, which is required in the state of Florida, which means he can go to the doctors, he can treat. The doctors will pay 80% of the insurance company will pay 80% of the doctor bills, if you will. And then he also has a lost wage reimbursement at 60%. So a lot of times people forget that they can get their lost wages reimbursed at 60% through their own insurance carrier. But that in the nutshell is the gist of his issue. Did I cover your questions, or did I leave you hanging somewhere?
So his answer for me is, should he take him to court to try to get, even though the insurance paid off the truck?
Well, that's different. There's property damage. See, the state of Florida requires you to have personal injury protection for yourself, for your doctors, and your lost wages, and then up to a minimum of $10,000 to protect the vehicles. And what sucks is Florida wants you to have protection for cars, but not protection for other citizens' bodies. Now, the legislature a few years ago, I don't want to get too political with this, but the legislature passed in the House and the Senate mandatory BI. So we would pivot from a no-fault insurance state to an at-fault insurance state, meaning that we would have mandatory BI and the minimal would be $25,000. And then that was vetoed a few years ago by Governor DeSantis. So we got close to having mandatory BI a few years back, but the governor and the insurance lobby, they did what they did, and the governor vetoed it, and it didn't happen, and it remained the same. So the answer to your question is, before you sue anybody, your son needs to do what's called an asset check, a background search on the individual to see if they're financially viable. Because if not, then he's just going to be throwing good money after bad. And if you get a verdict, it's a paper judgment, and it's not worth anything but the paper is printed on. So there you go.
Hope
Wow,
that
so there's six people that got screwed.
Not necessarily, because you don't know if the other folks had UM. So if the other folks had UM, which is additional coverage that you would purchase to protect yourself from other people driving around with not, I don't want to say no insurance, but not the right insurance coverage. So you don't know the answer to that question. They might have, hundreds of thousands of dollars in UM coverage, and they're saved. So your son needs to purchase UM moving forward. Can't help him in the case already, so that's done. But if God forbid he's in an accident tomorrow or next month or what have you, he's going to have the right insurance coverage. And again, this is why I talk about it on Mike's show when it comes up. I do segments on my show to try to inform the public and educate everybody, because everyone thinks, oh, I got what the state of Florida requires me to have, I'm covered. No, you're not.
All right. Good luck to your son.
Okay, so what time are you on tomorrow night? Because I have to work, but he'll be home.
7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tomorrow evening, 7 to 10. And then if he wants to call the office to do a background check and an asset search on the individual in the tow truck, he can call the main office number and ask for Pam with AP Investigations. We can certainly help you folks out there.
All right, Dom. Thank you. Love the show.
Thank you, Pumpkin. Appreciate it. All right. 800-771-1025. Good morning. You're on Acid Dom. What do you got?
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me good?
Yes, sir. What do you got?
So I got a weird situation where I guess my father just passed away. He didn't really have anything when he died. I wasn't expecting anything. But I guess what he did have was a lawsuit against the Catholic Church, which just went through, apparently. And just my main question real quick is, the executor is trying to get me to sign a waiver of consent. Like, what does this mean? Are they trying to pull something? Does this take away my rights? I don't know what to do.
Well, first of all,
sign it or not.
I'm sorry to hear about the passing of your dad. Usually, if a plaintiff is he a plaintiff or is he a defendant in the case?
Yeah, plaintiff. Okay. Plaintiff. And there's a judgment. It's like $300 million. Rockville Center in New York, like $300-something million between 600 people. And it's going through. I just don't know why the executor, who I don't know very well at all, is sending me a waiver of consent.
All right. Well, so if the judgment has already been ordered, so sometimes when plaintiffs pass away, and again, I'm not licensed in New York. That's where the jurisdiction of venue is, the state of New York.
Yeah, Rockville Center. Yeah.
All right. So my caveat in Florida. Sometimes when plaintiffs pass away, the case will die with them. But if you have a judgment that's already been ordered, and again, you would need an attorney that does probate law in the state of New York is the answer to your question, because you have to read the document that they're wanting you to waive. I don't know what it is because you don't know what it is. You'd have to send it to us. But at the end of it, we're not licensed in the state of New York anyway. So the answer to your question is you need a probate lawyer. Don't sign anything until you know what the hell it is.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, I don't want to sign anything. Like, I don't know. It's a weird situation because I wasn't expecting anything, and now I'm apparently entitled to.
Well, maybe
something that should be substantial.
Well, maybe.
So,
I don't know. You got to hire an attorney that does probate work in New York. Get a copy of the document they want you to sign. Show it to that lawyer, and then have a consultation with them. But you're going to have to go to a lawyer in that state. But don't do anything until you seek appropriate counsel. That's my recommendation for you.
Oh, fun. All right, thanks. You guys have a good day.
All right, buddy. Good luck. You too. 800-771-1025. Good morning. You're on Acid Dom. What do you got?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I got a situation about an oil change. I had my car service oil changed.
Okay.
At a local place, and I'm driving down to Bradenton, and all of a sudden the engine goes to half power, stalls out. Not stalled, but I was able to pull over, and I got towed back to Clearwater area. And then I found out when I took it to the shop that the oil had been overfilled by about 2 quarts. When that caused the engine to overheat, the oil got hotter than the water itself, and I had to have the pan removed, and the bottom pan. And when they were trying to remove it, it was all stripped out because they put it on too tight in the first place, and it couldn't come out. So it was a 2-part pan. They had to replace the pan and the screws and an oil change. Get everything together, I'm out about $800 to $900.
When did all this
because of their
happen?
oil. Just last month.
Okay. Now, did you call the place where you got the oil change and tell them of the circumstance?
No, I didn't. I was a fool not to look up the BBB, so I sent them a certified letter and I sent them an email, and they immediately got back to me this morning.
All right. And what did they say this morning?
They want to talk to me.
There you go. Talk to them. And then what you're going to do is you're going to tell them what the mechanic told you, what they saw and observed, and then you're going to send them the bill to fix everything, which was, I think you said $800 or $900. You submit it to them and see if they'll just pay you back. And then the problem should be resolved. If not, if they get squirrely, then you just email me at Saddam. Attorney Dave Parrott handles all of our property damage claims. That's what you have is a property loss issue with the damage to the vehicle because of the oil change. But it sounds
Excellent.
like they communicated with you this morning. Go ahead and give them a call back, and hopefully everything works out. You don't need a lawyer.
I appreciate that so much, sir. Thank you so very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Good luck. Right. That was easy enough.
And another satisfied customer, Mike. We got to change the marquee.
That happened to me one time. I got my oil changed, and on my way home, my engine seized and exploded all up and everything. And what happened was, it was kind of their fault, not their fault. They had changed the engine in my car, and the people at the oil place didn't know that there was an engine change, so they had the wrong size filter, and the filter popped off and everything. I had to have everything all replaced, but they were pretty good about those places are covered for that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, they have pretty good insurance. I personally. On some of the vehicles, if I have the time, I'll run it out to Steve Hurley. They do a great job out there. But if I don't have the time to head all the way out to Plant City, I'll go locally right by the houses, Jiffy Lube, and just nicest people that you can possibly imagine. Always do a great job. But if I've got the time, I'll drive out to Plant City and see Steve. But if I'm stuck with a time limitation, y'all go to those places. But yeah, they're pretty good. They have all the stuff in the computer system. But yeah, if something's changed on the car or modified, you always want to let them know. They'll put it in the computer system, and then they'll track that every time that vehicle's serviced.
Good morning, you're on Saddam. What do you got?
Yeah, I got a question in regards to garnishment of wages through my employer.
Okay.
I'll kind of narrow this deal down as best I can. So I had my company, was contacted by a garnishment company or a collections agency. They said, hey, we're going to take 25% from your paycheck until this debt's paid off. It was 25% of my check. I said, hey, that's fine. It was $5,000 total. So they start taking the money out of my check. I file like an exemption saying I'm head of house. I want to get it reduced to 10% of my paycheck instead of 25%. So the judge grants it. I have a court date. And then the judge wrote a letter, a court document. I think it was an actual court order saying that my company, or the garnishee, which would be my company, is to return $1,900 to me and then give $1,200 to the collection company and continue to take 10% out until the total is met. So I was to receive $1,900 from the garnishee, being my company. What happened is my boss essentially said, hey, we don't hold that money here at our company. We already sent it to the collection agency. So I call the collection agency. Of course, they won't tell me anything. And I get a letter in the mail saying it's been voluntarily dismissed. So it seems like they're going against the court order. And now my company already sent the money. My employer sent the money to the collection agency. So now the judge's court order saying they're supposed to give me $1,900 back and continue to take 10%. I don't know where that $1,900 is, if I can get it back. And now I don't know as well the status of the debt. I wanted to pay the debt, obviously, to improve my credit. I'm at a different point in my life now, so I'm just not sure where to go from here.
All right. Well, when you first acquiesced to the 25% and they were taking that payment per pay cycle, how long did that go until you pivoted to 10%? How many weeks or months was that?
It was 2 pay cycles. They had a total of $3,100 on the total debt of $5,000. And then I set the court date. I filed the exemption, got a court date set for 2 weeks later.
Yeah, but let me
stop. That's when the judge wrote the order.
If you agreed to 25%, you're going to knock it out quicker. you did 2 pay cycles because when you pivoted the less the 15%, which is ultimately the 10 to be paid, you kind of set a lot of different things in motion and you jack this thing up. So what was the reason and the rationale that you just want to pay this $5,000 quicker with 25% versus 10?
No, so the initial writ that I received in certified mail was set for 25% unless I meet an exemption status being head of house. I would prefer 10% be taken versus the 25 because 25% of my paycheck then puts me tight, week to week essentially.
Okay.
So I had the court date set for the exemption to change it to 10. The judge said in the writing, refund me $1,900, collections keeps 12, and then they'll take 10% going forward. And it read the garnishee is to return the $1,900,
they don't have
which
it.
I haven't received.
Yeah,
correct.
The garnishee
exactly.
doesn't. Yeah,
they don't have it.
Yeah, so the court order they can order a garnishee to do everything, but they don't have it. They don't have it. So,
right.
All right. Well, that makes sense that the 25 was set by the court, and then you filed a modification. Now, what is you have a copy of the voluntary dismissal? I need to see what the hell that is. Did you?
I got it. Yeah, I got it. Voluntarily dismissal.
Well, email that to me because what exactly did they voluntarily dismiss? The rest of the debt, the entire debt? What exactly was dismissed by the court? Do you know?
Exactly. No, it doesn't specify. And my boss actually called me and he says, "Hey, I got this thing voluntarily dismissed for you. You owe me a favor." I'm thinking, pal, I wanted to pay it off to have it paid in full versus settled in full. The difference of the reporting to the credit bureau from what I understand. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure. It's very, vague. It just says this has been voluntarily dismissed. It's like 2 or 3 little bullet points and that's all it says. So I was going to contact the clerk of court to see if they could maybe explain it because the collections company was useless. They don't want to explain anything to you.
You're going to have to email Dom the rest because we got to wrap it up. But if you email him at Dominic@AskTheDom.com, and hopefully he can help you out and finish the rest of it for you, sir. All right, good luck to you. Dom, thank you. What's on the show tomorrow night?
So tomorrow night is Joe Lito is my insurance agent with State Farm. So he's not a claims adjuster. He's an insurance agent. This is where you go to purchase insurance and get the right insurance and be properly covered, along with David and Shafia Singa, the Singa Law Group. Of course, we do a lot of litigation, auto accidents, motorcycle accidents together, which stems from having the right insurance because you can't really get into litigation unless you have the right insurance. So it's a civil show. And looking forward to that tomorrow night. And then just heads up, I was texting Gio yesterday. Next week, I will be out of town with the kids in South Carolina, so I will not be with you guys next Tuesday. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that one there. I'll see you 2 weeks from today.
Don't get in trouble next week is basically what you're saying.
No, I mean, I'm available. I'm just not going to physically be in the studio with Carmen and on the show. I mean, remote stuff sometimes is itchy scratchy. So, but I'll be. I mean, I could still work. I'll have the phone with me. I'm always 24/7, Mike. I'm always on. Man. You know that.
All right. If you didn't get through today, 813-251-5550 or AskTheDom.com, and you can check out the show tomorrow night at the station. We got to take a quick break. We'll come back to wrap things up. It's the Mike Calta Show. This is 102.5 The Bone.